It's Off Exit 10, presented by Capital District Sport and Fitness.
I'd much rather do this than spend time posting on social media, which I do, or paying money for Facebook ads or whatever other type of media is out there.
Yeah, but what do you spend on that versus when I started, we had to do home mailers for $5,000. We had to advertise on the side of a bus or pay for radio ads. Now for $100, you can reach 10,000 people on Facebook, and everybody's got a phone in their hand, whether you're 9 years old or 99 years old. I can reach you directly, and I can also specifically target, 65-year-old male, with one ad for $100.
Yeah, and that's a great point. It's even if somebody's just home watching TV, they're not watching TV. No. They're watching their phone and listening to some TV.
Always. It's always in your hand. It goes with you everywhere. There's, marketing now has never been easier and the least amount of cost.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because when did ABC open? You guys have been around for a while.
1990, it opened. 33 years ago.
Shout out 1990. It's a good year.
It's a year I was born, Paul.
It's a solid year.
How long have you been involved with the company?
13 years ago, I took over. So,
how did you get involved?
So kind of crazy. I was never involved in working out or sports growing up. I went to college at Hudson Valley and actually I got beat up pretty good at a party one night. And vowed the next day that I'm going to go to the gym and I'm not going to be a little runt anymore. So because ABC is actually near Hudson Valley, I just started going to the gym and I just became obsessed with it. Working out, boxing, all that kind of stuff. I really got big into. But I went to college because I wanted to run car dealerships. I'm a big automotive junkie, so that's how I got really into fabrication and cars and those kind of things. So I worked for car dealerships for a long time. The gentleman that owns ABC also owns car dealerships. So I went through a job interview for the car dealership, and on my resume it talked about, I was a certified personal trainer just for my own personal knowledge. I did Golden Gloves boxing, I did all that stuff, so it was on there. Just through some conversations, he said he owns a gym, doesn't have anybody running it, and wanted me to check it out in between rounds of interviews. So I went and looked at it, and man, it was a dump. What a disgusting place.
Because we're looking 13 years ago. It's 2024 now. Paul, do the math for me. We're 2011.
Yeah. 2011. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, there was mold on the bathrooms, machines were all out of order. It was absolutely disgusting. And at that time I was going to a competitive gym and it was just light years above what it was. So we went for the next round of interviews and they offered me a similar position that I was trying for at the car dealership, actually to run the gym. So it was awesome. Sorry, guys.
That's all right. All good. Listen, you're a popular guy over there.
Business guy, gotta
Never stops. Yeah, and just he offered me the same position, and I took a chance, trying to do something different and, working for cars and that kind of stuff. And I got in, come to find out the gym didn't make any money, which means I didn't make any money. But, man, I've met the members. I met some of the coolest people and literally just completely fell in love. I mean, we literally had no money. I had to borrow money to make payroll for the first couple weeks.
Dude, holy shit.
We had nothing.
This is a crazy field where we've talked about it before on here with people who work in this field, but there really is no governing body. There is no licensure. It's kind of just like the Wild West, and it's for better, it's for worse, but it gives, Paul has a retail background, and some of the best coaches I know were teachers or worked in different fields and kind of ended up here, and I feel like skill sets just in terms of the customer service side, really carry over well into this field. I almost prefer somebody that isn't just a exercise, physiology, reading textbooks junkie in terms of working for me.
Growing up, I really wasn't into sports. I was a skateboard kid, so we didn't like the football guys. They always took the chicks at the parties. We never. So I wasn't into sports or nothing like that. Literally, I got pummeled at a party one night, and it made me want to not be a scrawny kid anymore. And then just fell in love with working out, and then never really the business side of it. Never thought about opening a gym or working at one. Just, thankfully I was in the right place at the right time. I got an opportunity to work at a gym, and just honestly fell in love with the people that were there.
Yeah.
The business sucked, made no money. It's been back-breaking work to get it to where it is today, but just, seeing the people that are there, meeting the people, enjoying what you do for a job is, I can't put that enough.
I think that's so important. It's if you want to be successful, you're going to have to work some long, long days for a long period of time.
Right.
And if you don't like what you're doing, that's a miserable life.
Yeah, car dealership. I mean, I was managing technicians. You're selling tires and brake jobs. Like, yeah, it was a good job, paid, but like, what? I don't know. What do you get out of it?
That wasn't like what you liked about the automotive side of things.
No, I just like cars.
Yeah,
like, I like that aspect of it. But
let me work on some cars, build some cars, or whatever it is that you liked. But like the little nuances of just like sales and all that, you're like, nah, that's not my passion when it comes to that kind of thing. So,
but then you get into a job where you find something that can actually change someone else's life. You can help improve it. Like, man, I can't put a price on it. So So sure, I made a lot less money, but I loved what I was doing. So, once I started there, I just took off and ran with it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and this is a hard field to be in, just from a business standpoint. It's how did you know where to start? When you get there in 2011, you look around, you're like, well, there's
mold in the bathroom.
It's not making money. I don't like how it looks. I don't like how it's being run. How do you know where to even start?
I didn't. I learned. I went to school for automotive and business, but even when I started ABC, like I didn't know how to read a P&L statement. I didn't know what a balance sheet was. I didn't know how to work on gym equipment. I mean, I knew how to work on a car, but I've never opened up a cover on a treadmill or, operated gym software. I was a certified personal trainer, but it was just like a BS online certificate just so I could be better working out.
Yep.
So even that, I didn't really know, and I was always a scrawny kid. So like nutrition, I just eat anything just to gain weight. So I didn't know nutrition. It's just, I literally learned on the job, just you go to the store and you buy books on marketing. You buy books on, making business profitable, looking what a P&L statement is. Also asking, I was never afraid to ask someone who was above me for help or, hey, look at this paper and tell me what this means. So,
I mean, you got to use your resources. And, one of the things that one of my friends just got certified as a trainer, and I told him, I was like, don't be afraid to start in like a gym where it's a commercial gym, because you're going to get like-minded people. You're also going to have revolving door clients, but you're going to be able to use other trainers to kind of learn
absolutely
how to be the trainer, how to sell your training, how to sell yourself, and how to promote yourself in a way that you probably have no idea right now. And that's huge to be able to, ask those questions and not be afraid to ask questions with the people around you to get the right answers, so that way you can build the business.
Yeah, I just had a local a high school kid actually come to the office, and he wants to get into the gym business and wants to own his own gym, and ask like same thing, how did I get here? What do I recommend? And I just told him just get a job at a gym. Like you need to scrub the toilets, you need to learn how the machines work, how the software works, how personal training works. Like you got to start somewhere in the business. I didn't, so I had to learn a lot. Which is also not a bad thing. I come in with fresh, open eyes and not any, bad habits, but
or any bias. I think you see people who are trained a certain way in terms of how to train people, or at a gym that function a certain way, and become kind of biased. Like this is the only way to do it.
I knew nothing. And that's what I recommend this guy. Like you need to get jobs at a gym to kind of learn and then make it your own.
Yeah, it's crazy. How many employees were there when you first came on in 2011?
Not very many. I also kind of cleaned house when I started because we had we actually had a full staff of cleaners, and the place was the grossest I've ever seen. We had a maintenance guy, and we had a whole bunch of machines out of order, so it was pretty rough. So I pretty much cleared house and hired everybody new. I think we had like 10 or 12 employees at the time. Now we have 53.
Wow.
There's definitely not mold there now. I can tell you that.
No, absolutely.
There is always somebody cleaning, I feel like, when I'm there. Always.
I'm there 7 days a week. My mom also works there. My dad works there.
Oh,
so
that's so cool.
I want a clean environment, not only for my members, but also my family.
Right.
So
yeah,
and I live there, so I want it nice and clean.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we're the same way here. But yeah, that's how I first decided to reach out to you, because Paul works out at your spot, and we have other people here who work out at your spot, and I've just heard great things. But I was like, let me hit up Matt and have him on, and we'll talk.
Yeah, I mean, I work out there just like the members do. So that's, having a clean facility, having the nice toys, a well-organized place is something that really goes undervalued. I work out there just like everybody else. So
one of my favorite videos that I saw on like Instagram was like somebody getting ready for heavy squats, and they needed their knees wrapped. And who's the person over there wrapping their knees? This guy's over there, like literally wrapping their knees up for him. I'm like, that's awesome. Like,
dude, I remember that video. I was literally in the middle of balancing the checkbook, and a kid comes knocking on my door because the guy that normally wraps his knees wasn't there, and it's like, okay, so all
right, well,
you put down the business mind, and you go out there and wrap a set of knees.
I'm sure you got him hyped up for that lift too.
Oh, absolutely. I'll yell. Anything to help push him, I'll be there to do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a real thing. And like do you ever find it hard, this being like when you are providing your service and what you offer, it's always in person. Somebody's right here at your spot doing it. We're not selling products. It's not like we're in some warehouse and people are buying stuff and we're shipping it out. It's like the customer is right there in front of you every time that they're paying for this service. Is it ever hard for you to like break up your day like that? Like I'm doing my checkbook and doing my payroll, and all of a sudden somebody needs me out there and I have to do something.
It's terrible. I mean, I'm there at least 12, 14 hours a day. I'll be lucky if I get a productive 8 hours done. And when I first started, I was big on the open door policy.
Yeah.
Like, what business can you go into and just walk into the owner's office? Like, you're not going to a commercial gym and the owner's sitting there. We can just walk in, or any business for that matter. Like, you're not walking in a Price Chopper and one of the Golibs is sitting there. So I really wanted that feel that you could just walk in. Also, at the time when I started, at 514 members. We just hit 8,000 last month. And my door's still open.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely open a lot.
Yeah. So it's all right when it's 500 members. Now it's 8,000, and pretty much all 8,000 walk into the office. It's tough to get work done. But honestly, I wouldn't change it any other way, man. I love my members, getting to know them, know their family, their kids. Like, they are part of your family. They're also the reason I have food on my table.
100%.
So I want to make sure they understand that I'm just as much there and appreciative of them being members of my club.
Yeah, and we talked about it before we got on air, just like the culture you build in a gym. Like, it's not always about the fancy equipment and all the fancy things that you can have in the gym, but it's about the people that you have hired there, how you keep the gym clean, and the culture you build there. And like, that's clearly something that you've done there, and in other gyms that I've worked in, we've built that culture where people, like I told you, like the New York Sports Club I worked at was like literally equipment that looked like Arnold used it.
Yeah.
Like, that's how old it was.
Do you know of any other gyms like yours that's privately owned and does the volume that you do?
Not offhand. Everything mostly, especially up in our area, we're like the only family-owned and operated gym left. Everything is commercial.
Yeah, that's what intrigues me, I guess, because you see gyms with how much square footage do you have?
With the new addition, will be just about 40,000 square feet.
I think seeing a gym of that square footage, and then that means you need to do that much more volume to make money. It's like usually it's only a corporation that can do that.
Yeah, and that's where it's nice having multiplications, because if one's not doing well, you can piggyback, off the other.
Yeah.
You can also get volume Let's you say buy a treadmill. Like, I know Planet Fitness pays pennies on a dollar for treadmills, but they buy 100,000 of them, where I just buy 20, so I'm paying full retail price.
Yeah.
So it's tough to navigate and stay competitive in that aspect of it. But again, this isn't something I'm going to do to ever be rich. It's something I do because I truly, genuinely love lacing up my boots every day and going to work and seeing people in the gym working hard and meeting our members. And I mean, like Transformation Tuesdays, literally my favorite thing to do, because seeing how someone has transformed their body in whatever their goals were, it's very rewarding.
Yeah, I think their body and their mental health and their psychology.
100%.
See, did you recognize the psychological benefits of working out when you first got into it?
Not so much for me, to be honest. I mean, it made me feel bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
COVID was the real changing. Like, I've never dealt with depression or anything along those lines, or at least like knew it or admitted to it. COVID happened, and holy crap, man, I went to a dark hole. It was bad. And coming out of it and getting back into the gym, back into seeing people, like, now I realized how much, the gym, health and wellness, it really changes not just your body, but mentally. It's a complete game changer.
What made it? Well, obviously, we can talk about our businesses having to shut down, but was that the driver to you kind of starting to feel depressed during COVID?
Yeah, 100%. Like, once you lose everything you've worked for me up to that point, it was 9-10 years of around the clock work to build this awesome thing, and it's taken away for no fault of your own.
Dude,
it was one thing if I made a bad business move or did something and I lost my business because I suck. That's on me. But the government comes in and tells you to shut your doors. That was brutal.
That was fucking wild. I remember we were in here. Paul was still in New York City. So it was me, my one business partner, Dan, just the two of us. Dan's out doing a rehab throwing with somebody out in the back parking lot. I'm coaching the group in here. And it's when, and I never really followed politics or the news. I just lived my life and did my thing. And all of a sudden I'm looking and it's Twitter and Cuomo. March 16th, right?
It was March 16th,
2020.
2020.
Never
forget that day.
Gym's got to close.
Pretty sure it was a Monday.
I had 8 p.m. I had to close my doors at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And we found out through Twitter.
Same here. It was a fucking tweet.
The hundreds of thousands of dollars I pay in taxes every year. This is how you tell me I have to close? No phone call, no email. That's it. I got to close.
And then it was wild because I would call people, just trying to talk to anybody, and it's like nobody knew what was going on.
I remember when I originally told because everybody went nuts when we closed. The gym never closes. We're always up and rocking.
Yeah.
Even Christmas morning.
Because you're 24/7, right?
24/5. So 24 hours during the week. We close a little bit on the weekends. We will be 24/7 shortly.
Oh, you guys are going to do that for
yeah,
the
we're going to bump
weekends?
up, yep. And the new gym is going to be 24/7. But Christmas morning, we're always open. So when all of a sudden my members have nowhere to go, they're calling, freaking out. And I remember it used to be 2 weeks was the timeline. You get COVID, you're down for 2 weeks. So we assumed close March 16th, we're back open April 1st.
Right.
And then, April comes, May comes, June comes. We still have no answers, no nothing. That was the hardest thing, is not having an answer of how long you're out for.
Yeah, that was tough, not having an answer. And then when you could see other places start to open up, you're like, wait, why them but not us? It's like, well, being fit and healthy is maybe one of the most important things you can do if you're sick.
Dude,
that's one argument.
I have a photo in my office, in my desk. It's a photo of Cuomo on the news. It's News Channel 10. It was a photo that showed the least places that spread COVID, and the gym was second from the bottom.
Yeah, I remembered that.
A library was above the gym.
Fuck, the fucking
I remember that too.
And we were supposed to be the super spreaders, which is why we got put into phase 4 and then put out of phase 4 with no opening date, because we were the bad guys. And then now, after everything's open, we've proven that we are actually the good guys and could have been open this whole freaking time.
I can picture the blue background with the yellow font. I got fucking PTSD. We're
Dude,
just talking about
literally,
it.
there's a photo of it in my desk, because that was like the shining moment of like, F you guys. Like I told you from day one. And I went nuts. Like I was on national news. I was on Fox Business News multiple times during COVID. Like the gyms are healthy. Like we've been in the sweat business from day one. Like
and the thing is,
cleaning and taking care of this facility. So like I can do it. Just I'll step up. I'll ramp it up to another level.
Yeah.
And people will look at you wild when you were speaking. Some people would.
Yeah.
Like, hey, my business should be open. We're safe.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, I'm just trying to like feed my family and take care of my customers and like do what I think is right.
Yeah. No, we did outdoor classes. We did free classes for anyone and everyone in our parking lot, because all the other businesses were closed around us in a plaza. So everybody had their own parking spot, did these big outdoor classes, and people were calling the police, calling the town. Like everybody was so angry that we're in a parking lot having a gathering for exercise. Like people hated us.
I don't want to. We won't spend all our time ranting about this, but I never get to talk to many people about it, because they can't relate. They didn't experience it as a business owner, and just seeing your livelihood potentially go away forever.
I was 2 weeks away from closing. Like if we didn't get open in September when we did, like I only had about enough. And of course I had to pay full rent the entire time.
Right.
Like
and you were deeper into it than us. We opened in 2018, so we were 2 years in. We didn't have as much square footage, not as many employees, just not as many expenses.
Yep.
We had some money saved up, so I knew we could coast for 4-ish months. People still paid us for online training. Then we opened outdoors. But yeah, dude, fucking 2 weeks away is scary.
I didn't have any online training or anything along that, so I had no really source of income. We slinged a couple T-shirts through Shopify online, and that was kind of the only thing we had going. And thankfully, we're in business, and we're doing well before COVID, so I had some money saved up. Like the renovations we're doing now, that was supposed to happen 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
So that was in the works, and your plan for ABC Iron was years and years ago.
This has been many years in the making, and COVID took all my cash away, and, it's part of business, but it's just a really dark side of business.
Yeah, I remember when we did outdoor training, we put up like little pop-up tents.
Yeah.
And the second day, it was on a Tuesday, there was like a thunderstorm, and they all blew away and broke. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm just done. Like maybe this is a sign. Let's just wrap it up right here.
More than once I wanted to tap out, but obviously now glad we didn't. But
yeah, because what's also interesting with our field is because there's no union licensure like federation, there's nobody to go lobby for us either.
Yep. It's tough. I mean, hopefully that's something we can change as we go down the road.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, because you guys, right, you worked with like Vent, and there were other groups, right, that you were a part of trying to help get us reopened?
Yep. Yeah, all the big gyms got together, and we got a lobbyist to try and help and get somebody get to Cuomo so he could see like, hey, we are not the bad guys. We've been in the sweat business our entire careers, so we know how to have a clean facility, how to take care of people. We'll do whatever we have to do, adapt to social distance, move equipment, tried to show him that we weren't the bad guys, but for some reason we had a target on our back.
Yeah.
I mean, bars were open before we were. Like, you can go get hammered and talk to people right next to each other.
Right next to somebody.
And a gym that's a health and wellness business is shelved until who knows when. Like,
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, and then we were part of it was a collective of smaller, like, kind of training style gyms like us. And I don't even know the full story, but there's a guy from Long Island, and I forget his name, and I wish I didn't, because he was like great at just being proactive and rallying people and keep people informed as best as they could. But we ended up hiring a lawyer and filed a suit somewhere in a northern county in New York. This is when we were left out of the like phase 4.
Yep.
It was like, what was it? Malls could open, but like amusement parks and gyms couldn't. So we were just training outside, and they ended up filing a lawsuit. I don't know exactly what it was, but there was the day where they're supposed to present discovery. We presented whatever, and the state had to present whatever info they had. And then they asked for a delay, and then the next day we opened indoors.
Okay.
It's like, they just probably didn't have anything.
Yeah.
They were like, we got nothing.
They finally realized that it's time to change.
Let's let them go. No, man, I'm happy. Listen, I'm happy. Some people didn't make it.
Sadly,
Very sadly.
Yeah, I really hate it. The amount of gyms that closed is over 33%. The gyms nationwide had closed due to the COVID shutdown, so it was tough.
Yeah, dude. But you're kicking now. Yeah, I mean, and did that help? That change your perspective of what the gym is a little bit to people?
Yeah, like we mentioned, like mental health. You know, I didn't realize how important the gym was to mental health until something like that happened. So that was a good eye-opening experience and something we really focused and trying to pivot on how important mental health is as well as physical health. And then specifically the seniors, like we have a huge senior program, over 3,000 seniors complete in our Silver Sneakers program. So just seeing how just 6 months away from physical activity for those guys, really, it didn't do them well. So it was
Definitely not.
It was very hard to see, but they've really come back with a vengeance. I mean, they are really more dedicated to the gym, and even just the business itself, we are doing better today than we were before COVID.
Yeah.
Because I think COVID has really made people realize how important your health and wellness is. So it's
we
positive side of COVID.
We said it was kind of like a slingshot.
It pulled back like a slingshot. Like
Yeah.
we got pulled back for a little bit, and then it just like propelled us forward.
Yeah.
Yep. So some good did come of it. Finally, people realize that it is important to get to the gym, and whether you're in a small boutique, a big commercial, or even at your home.
Yeah.
I just see way more people working out now. It's a blessing. So that is a good thing.
Yeah, I think that's so important. How do you go about, because we talked about advertising and marketing early on, how much do you think about retention and the importance of retention with clients and members?
So it's huge. I mean, so in Albany County itself, you have 300,000 people. Saratoga County is another 200,000. So like there's 500,000 people in the Capital District really that can go to any gym. So, trying to have your group of people and keeping them happy. I'm not so much about selling to sell new memberships. I want to keep my crew, my people. I want to keep them coming to the gym. I want to keep them happy, keep them going. So, retention is, and that's, we are well above industry standards for retention. Like we have very little cancellations compared to our new signups. Like our people keep coming back, people staying with us, keep paying every month. That's my biggest thing. Retention is huge for us, particularly.
Yeah, I think this industry retention, a lifetime client value to me could be the most important number. Like they're going to keep coming back to me because they're loving the service that we offer.
Right.
Yeah, and how long can they pay me for if I'm doing a good...
Way easier to retain a client than it is to get a new one.
Yeah, 100%.
And when you're doing one-on-one training or like semi-private training, that is even like double.
Yeah. Once you get the customer in the door, keeping them happy and maintaining them is far easier than having to advertise and do all the craziness just to try and get someone new in.
Right.
And that person might not even meet, the values of the business or,
Exactly.
Might mesh well with the culture. Like I said, ABC is huge on culture. Like the people I have are the best. Like what can I do to keep them happy, keep them paying?
Right. I would say it's not. I would say it's harder to retain because you have to put forth effort. I'm not just putting out a marketing material, target it, get somebody in the door. Like,
I think that's standard business. Putting an effort, that's just a standard.
That's standard, right?
I don't think it's hard because that's just something I wake up and do every single day. Like keeping the facility clean, shopping for new equipment, building the new equipment. Like I don't know. I just think that's par for the course.
Yeah, you make equipment, right?
I do. Yeah. Yep. Dude. Coming from a car background and automotive and motorcycle junkie, like I love fabrications and building stuff. So I've had members literally sketch me, like tell me this crazy idea on a napkin. Like literally somebody brought me an actual napkin once, and then we made a machine. Like they brought it to me Friday, and by Sunday morning I had a machine, painted it, and I delivered it to them on Monday.
Do you have like a safety bar plate loaded machine that you can do like squats and lunges on? And I'm like, this is one of my favorite things.
So I actually made that. I got in a motorcycle.
I figured that it was.
I got in a motorcycle accident. Those safety squat bars are the worst bars ever. Like they're super heavy. They're awkward. Like I can't. Like getting it off the rack and move. I had a broken arm and a broken leg. I was a mess. Yeah. So I welded a safety bar to this like squat apparatus, and now it's like one of the gym's favorite things.
I love that thing.
Paul, so explain it. It's like
it's like if you're doing safety bar squats, but it's a plate loaded machine, and you don't have to worry about like instability or anything because it's a machine.
Right.
But then you still get the benefit of being able to load up like you can for like safety bar, squats, lunges.
That's sweet.
Good mornings.
So it takes a little bit of the core work out of it that's beneficial to squat. But for somebody like me who had a broken arm, couldn't get out of the rack, or had a dislocated shoulder and some back issues, like I could really focus on the leg drive and the push and not have to, do the free weight portion of it. So kind of similar to a pendulum squat with like a safety squat bar welded.
Yeah.
Welded
Yeah, that's actually kind of like the best way to put it. I was like thinking like the belt squat machine almost.
Yep. So the belt squat machine is great. So the belt squat machine I built because I also don't have a ton of money. So a lot of stuff I have to build and fabricate. So I'll see something online. I'll take a photo of it, figure out how tall that person is, kind of put their height in proportion with the size of the machine. I'll build it. So the problem is though, I'm only 5'9", 5'10". So like I build it to my specs. So I build it, put it together, bring it to the gym, and I realize Adrian, who's 6'8", can't get in it, or Joel, who's 4'11", can't use it. So then I bring it back home, re-weld it, bring it back. So it's cool. Like our members have a ton of input on stuff.
That's so cool.
And now we have the most heavy duty belt squat that's fully adjustable from 4.5 feet to 7 feet. Anybody could use it, but. I bring this stuff, a lot of times I'll bring it in and bring it out a couple times. Just the members will give me their input. They try it, tell me what they like, what they don't. And, they all have a part of building what we have over there.
Dude, that's sweet. Would you make first? I saw on your Instagram. You'll make bikes? You'll make motorcycles?
Choppers. I love like
choppers.
old school choppers.
Dude, what was that show back in the day, Jay? Remember?
Orange County Choppers?
Orange County Choppers?
Yeah. Yep, that was a big
Just
one.
the fucking dad yelling at everybody the whole time.
I literally watched the TV. I was 16 years old. I watched Motorcycle Mania. It's this like a chopper TV show with Jesse James and West Coast Choppers.
Oh, yeah.
When I was 16, and that next year I signed up for BOCES and learned how to weld. Like all because I watched a TV show. I went to BOCES, learned how to weld, and became obsessed with cars and anything mechanical and bikes, and it's kind of changed the course of life. So
the West Coast Choppers, I remember that brings it back to like Spike TV. I feel like
I was on Spike TV. Yeah. So, and crazy thing is, I actually just bought one of those West Coast Choppers. Like I've always wanted one. I wanted one of Jesse's bikes, and now took me 20 years, but I finally got one.
Hey, you got it.
Yeah,
Dude.
Yep.
Jay, could you get on a chopper?
Sure. Yeah. I've got a sport bike. So
no, that's terrible. No, anything with two wheels. I would take anything with two wheels over a car any day.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in a four wheels. You're in your house, which is four doors, four walls and a roof. You're in your office, four doors, four walls and a roof.
Yep.
Get your car, same thing. Your bike is literally just your escape. There's no safety, no seatbelts, no airbags.
Jay, you feel like that? It's your escape?
Yeah, something I always talk about with people when they ask is it's like forced presence. It's like meditation like this.
Yeah.
Because if you're not paying attention, you're dead.
Yeah, you have
So
to be
you're just there.
on at all times, and it's the most freeing thing that you could possibly do.
Dude, forced presence is good because it's hard to be present, man.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it's the biggest, I don't know if I've said this on here before. I think it's the biggest advantage in life you can have now and going forward is being present with wherever you're at.
Everybody's goofing off on their cell phones as they're driving, looking at something out. Like on a motorcycle, you have to pay attention, especially now too.
Yeah.
With motorcycle, everybody's looking at their cell phones, not paying attention where we're going. We have
As
to-
drivers, it's terrifying.
Yeah, but my motorcycle is the most freeing, best thing in the world. So whether it's a sport bike or a ridiculous rigid chopper, you got to get on them. Best thing ever.
Paul, would you ever?
I mean, I'd probably do it. Yeah, I'd do it. I don't know if Donna would let me, but I'd do it.
What about you, Mikey?
Yeah, sure. I would do it. Yeah, sure. I'd give it a go. You got yours out there
I
right
like
now?
The idea of the,
Oh, okay.
the forced, like you said, like almost like forced meditation. Like you have to be like present. Like
I'll tell you
that
this,
makes
though.
me feel like I would do it.
I like that, yeah.
If Jordan's bike was out there and your truck was out there and we had to get away, I don't think I can reach to step up in your truck. So I'd have to take Jordy's bike.
That truck's really silly.
I'd have no choice.
Yeah, that one was supposed to be like a mild truck build, and it totally grew into this giant monster truck.
Yeah, well,
it's pretty silly.
Sometimes you gotta have silly things. Sometimes
I do. Yeah, completely useless truck now.
The supplement industry is like the Wild West. The lack of regulations mean the supplements you purchase may not even contain the ingredients listed on the label, which is why I get my daily vitamins and supplements from Thorne. Thorne vitamins and supplements are made without compromise. Quality ingredients ensure your body optimally absorbs and digests your daily supplements, while in-house and third-party testing ensure you're getting exactly what you paid for. Thorne offers a variety of health tests reviewed by board-certified physicians that evaluate your lifestyle, gut health, sleep, stress hormones, and metabolic markers to determine which vitamins and supplements may be most effective in helping you feel and perform better throughout the day. For college and professional athletes, Thorne has NSF-certified supplements that make sure you won't get pop positive on a drug test. Whether you're an athlete, professional, parent, grandparent, or weekend warrior, Thorne's selection of high-quality supplements can help improve your quality of life. Switch to Thorne's high-quality and extensively tested supplements today at thorne.com/u/CDSF. That's thorne.com/u/CDSF. This episode of Off Exit 10 is brought to you by Anchor and the all-new Anchor Pro, crafted to endure the most high-performance workouts without the high cost and space requirements of a standard cable machine. Named the best portable cable machine by Men's Health Home Gym Awards, Anchor provides the full functionality of a cable machine in one small space-saving unit. Designed with user-friendliness in mind, Anchor can simply be attached to any squat rack or placed on any wall in your home gym using its intuitive sliding track mount. With up to 65 pounds of resistance, Anchor is built for high speed and controlled exercises alike, from cable presses and rows to chops and lifts. The Anchor has been a game changer for us here at CDSF, and now you can enjoy the same professional quality cable machine in your own home gym by heading over to anchortraining.com and using code CDSF10 for 10% off your order today. Get all the benefits of a cable machine without the high cost and installation fees. Enjoy the portable luxury and space-saving performance of Anchor today by going to anchortraining.com and using code CDSF10 at checkout. That's anchortraining.com, promo code CDSF10 for 10% off your order today. As how much square footage have you added since you joined on in 2011?
So the
ABC?
gym is about 15,000 square feet, and then
Okay.
we used to have a basketball court off to the side of it. So as you know, again, I've never borrowed money. I didn't have any funding. So as the gym made a couple dollars, I kept buying things, building things, adding on. So eventually I took over half, and the basketball court just wasn't. It was very seasonal for us. Also brought in a little bit of a rough crowd for what we wanted at the gym. So as we got money, we literally cut the basketball courts in half and created a weight room out there, had basketball on the other side, and then the main club. And then again, as I got more money, I took out the rest of the basketball courts and created this big, massive, we call it the Albany Barbell Club. It's about a 15,000 square foot, just hardcore weight training facility.
That's pretty much where I spend most of my time when I'm there.
So you have ABC, you have Albany Barbell Club, which is an area where it's more just weightlifting, powerlifting type of stuff. And then what is your vision with ABC Iron, the new space that you're working on now?
So always seeing what the members are doing and pivoting with the business and making sure we provide for the members. Powerlifting is super popular right now. So I want to make sure I provide for them and give them the necessary equipment. So we're taking in the Barbell Club, we have a section of powerlifting equipment. We're going to be moving that down to ABC Iron, which is a little bit over 6,000 square feet, and that's going to become our competition center. So that'll be all the powerlifting, strongman training stuff, and the CrossFit, equipment. So Albany Barbell Club is going to really turn into a bodybuilding mecca, and then ABC Iron is going to be your competition, squat, bench, and deadlift for the powerlifters, again, strongman, CrossFit, and then the main ABC Sports and Fitness will be kind of like your general fitness, group fitness area. So
That's cool. You host powerlifting competitions?
I host them. Yep.
Specific sanctions, or you'll do anything?
Oh, we've done the RPS, USPA, USAPL. We've done some non-sanctioned events. We do a couple charity events for like deadlift only meets. So anything that really helps give the members something to train for, and also bring light to the gym and to the powerlifting itself.
Powerlifting is a good community.
Huge,
Dude, it's a huge, and like everybody's super nice from my experience.
for the most part.
Like, I'm
you
sure.
got some headaches.
You always have outliers, But I competed. It's like I finished playing collegiate sports. I played baseball for 2 years, and then you're like, I need that competitive itch.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people go like the endurance route, or they go the powerlifting route. And I was like, I'm gonna do a little powerlifting for a few years, and yeah, man, it's fun. It took a toll on me.
Oh yeah, you blew your pec out.
I blew my pec out.
That was the end of that.
We're okay. You compete ever?
I've never really competed. I mean, I've done a couple deadlift meets, but it's not really my, not really my thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like getting on in front of everybody in a singlet isn't really the most flattering thing.
Yep.
I think that's harder than the actual lifting itself. But for me, I always had training partners that I wanted to see compete and do well. And it's just, I don't know. I'm really just never was my cup of tea. I like to train. I like to be in the gym. I like to, compete every single day, not just once, you know, on a platform. And for me, seeing my members on the platform is the more rewarding than actually myself being on the platform.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to see them do well. And the thing I love about powerlifting is it literally is just, it's you. There's no team failure. You know, if your defense sucks and you let a bunch of goals in, like it's, they can ruin the game for you. But if you miss powerlifting, it's you. It is all on you, which I love that idea of that sport.
I love that concept. I didn't first have that thought until I went to college. I've only ever played team sports, and then I had a friend who was a wrestler, and he was a savage. And I was like, dude, this dude's like busting his ass. And I struggled in my college baseball career, so I was probably just like pissed off at the world with athletics at that point in time. But I was like, dude, I love this. Like everything you're putting in It's like it's on you. You're gonna either reap the rewards or fail, but it's like what you're putting in is what you can get out of it.
What you get out of it is a direct result of your hard work.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it and you're going to put it in, it's all on you. It's not like you got one guy on your team that's really kicking ass and the other guys are just goofing off. Like, it's solely on you.
But then it's like when it comes to business, it's a blend of both. I feel like it's like definitely what you put in, but then you need a team around you.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I would not be where I am today without like my staff. I mean, truly solely like our group fitness department. Group fitness is one of the hardest things to do and maintain right now because there's so much competition. There's boutique studios everywhere.
That price point for a group fitness or that group class boot camp style stuff is hard because there's so much
of it. But my trainers, like a couple of my trainers have been there since the gym opened 33 years ago. And they're some of the like coolest, best people, some of the most hardworking, dedicated. Like, you know, I would not be specifically that department. I mean, the gym overall wouldn't be, but that department would not be still there and still thriving today without those guys.
That's awesome.
You know, I know hands down. It's, you know, wouldn't be without where I am today without them.
As you grew and increased in members, you said you went from how many when you first signed up? 500?
514 to be exact.
To 8,000.
Yeah.
Were there ever moments in time where you felt like, oh shit, things are kind of getting out of control? It's not as organized as I want it to be. I got to step in and like kind of put in some systems or figure something out to kind of get things on the right track.
We're there like now. Now is the time. It's grown out of control, which is why I need the new space to, you know, I'm always for feedback. I think the biggest thing of growing for business is listening to my members.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the good, the bad, you know, I want to hear it all. So specifically, like now we're just overcrowded. It's crazy. Like you can't parking. I used to train at 5 o'clock at night. I love going. You know, I like eating your meals all day, preparing for your 5 p.m. workout. I can't work out. It's chaos.
It is chaos. Does it stress you out?
Oh, it does, yeah. And I feel bad because like members complain, which then adds more stress to me because I want them to have the best experience and best workout possible. So like we're at that point now where I need to change and grow in order to keep the business growing. Yeah. So in having that new space, which we'll have open in a couple months, is going to be a game changer for us because it's going to relieve all the parking issues. People will have additional space to train. It'll really spread people out. So we're there. We're at that point of things got to change quick.
Managing space is huge. It's like we're a different business model, right? We're like small group training, so kind of like small group personal training. So probably the max people we have in the gym at once is 12. We get some carryover in between hours, so maybe a 12 to 15, Paul?
Yeah, 15 probably the most, but usually it's anywhere from 8 to 12.
Yeah, in here. But we hit a point in this fall where we were like, oh, this is getting crazy. Well, we kind of got messed up because of COVID. When we first opened, every area in the gym had its specific purpose, right? Like everybody warmed up here, they foam rolled there.
There's a flow to it.
They did their plyometrics. There was a flow. And we grew like that for 2 years. And then after COVID, we did the stupid pods.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Social distancing.
Oh, yeah. We did the pod. And then we just kind of kept it for way too long.
Well, we thought part of it was we thought it would make our lives easier for coaching, going like, hey, everybody's got their own designated area. And then it became more of a hassle because people would get offended if somebody came into their area, when in actuality that area could fit 2 to 3 people in it.
Yep.
Right.
So then we were like, okay, we got to get rid of the pods. And then we also decided to, because we had a giant jungle gym.
The rig
that you had in the middle. And we were like, all right, we have a lot of dead space that we're not using. And this was in December of this year. We got these racks, and we basically took that rack and cut it in half and then made up more space. So now the flow, even when it's busy, like it feels, at first you're kind of like, all right, it's getting crazy right now, but slowly, like that hour before, those people are going to trickle out. And now all of a sudden the flow works perfect because you have, all right, everybody's warming up over there. These people are finishing up over here, and you can kind of be like, all right, you're going to go over there, then we're going to go here, and then the flow works better. Where we were at a point in the fall, we were like, dude, people are crossing left and right. People are running into each other. What are we doing? Like, do we need to knock that other wall down? Yeah. Like that kind of stuff. So
that's smart business, though. You took a problem you saw ahead of time before it got out of control, and how to change it, how to fix it. Like that's good business. That's smart business. Like,
that's my
you did it the right way.
That's my OCD as well.
And this might work for the next 6 months, and you find out, all right, now I got to change it. And like one thing I've always dreamed of is bolting equipment to the floor. It drives me nuts when stuff shifts everywhere. The benches in front of the dumbbells, everybody moves. I've always wanted to bolt it, but like I'm constantly rearranging. Like I think right now I have the greatest layout. 3 months from now, I'll be like, I was an idiot. I should have done this, and then change it all. Like
I'm not gonna lie, I walked in there the other, like I want to say like 2 weeks ago, and you had brought in more of like the power racks.
Yep.
And for like the competition racks.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking, I'm like, hold on, I gotta assess real quick. All right. everything's still the same. It's just a different style of rack. Everything's still the same. Because I was like, things move. What's going on here?
Oh,
And then-
members will freak out.
Yeah.
Like you'll move it from literally one corner to the other corner, and they start, where's that machine, or why is it over? Like,
Yeah, I just kind of like sit back. I go, okay, let me look around and observe. And I happened to go in when it wasn't super busy at the time, so I was able to like see the whole gym basically. And I was like, all right, it's just different benches.
keeps it fresh.
Yeah, people are such creatures of habit, though.
Oh,
when,
yeah.
when we did this change, and it was like, okay, you're gonna foam roll in the back. Somebody look at you like you just gave them the worst news ever.
Yeah.
You're like, no, don't worry, we're still gonna go through your workout.
Up in the main part of my gym, which is kind of like the general fitness area, we have all these new fancy matrix machines. There's this one old crappy back row. It says Empire Row on it.
Somebody loves that though, probably.
Obsessed with it. So like when I first put all these new machines in, I actually got rid of it. I brought it out to the loading dock to take to the scrapyard. It was like constant, like people coming up to the office losing their marbles because that back row is not there. And meanwhile, the back row next to it is brand new. It's so much more, like the mechanics behind it are so much better. It's smoother, but they're obsessed with this machine. I had to bring it back in, and it's literally it's an eyesore to me. It's just an old dumpy machine, and it's used all day, every day.
Did you have to do that with the standing hamstring curl machine too?
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, like it's hideous. It looks.
Because I like look and I'm like, all right, all new machine. And then there's like two, and you're like,
There's two old ass machines
those
sitting in the middle
two
of it.
don't fit. But you know what? They're here for a reason. So
Now, next time you go to the gym, watch. You'll see those things are used all the
they are
freaking
used
time.
all the time.
Yeah, people are
all the time.
creatures
It's
that
like
have it.
it's like Paul. We should have done a wake and a funeral for the ropes when we got rid of like
Oh
the
my God.
battling ropes because they just ate space. Somebody pulled them out, and it's like, dude, there's like
Nobody ever puts them back.
nobody puts them back.
That's like
it's in
8 feet of
everybody's
space
way.
that you're just taking up.
And I was like, dude, we're throwing away these ropes. And next week, everybody's like, you got rid of the ropes?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. They're like, will they come back? I'm like, no.
They're dead. R.I.P.
No, it's stuff like that all the time. But I mean, you also got to listen to the members. You know,
Yes.
you want to make them happy. You know what they want, and you know if that stupid ugly machine is going to keep them coming back and bettering their health. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'll buy 2 of them. I don't really care.
Are you a yes person?
No, not at all.
That's
but I
good.
do, you know, within reason. You know, some people come up and they do want specific things, and I'll tell them blatantly, like, that won't work, and here's why, or your idea is stupid, and here's why. But for the, I mean, again, I want to make everybody happy within reason.
Right.
Customers are not always right. I will be the first to say that. Like, you get in a lot of businesses, retail, like, oh, the customer's always right.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Retail's the first place I knew
I think-
the customer wasn't always right. I can tell you that right now.
But you do got to listen to them.
Yeah, I
gotta
think you should. I think you should always listen to the
Yes.
customer.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
They're
that's
not always right, but you should definitely listen.
I mean, that a lot of that gym is today is because I listen to the customers. Like I listen to the machines they want, the layout they want. I mean, even to the stupid colors that like we picked for the walls. When we first renovated the gym was all red and white. I had like 10 swatches on the wall, and we picked all these different colors. We literally let the members pick the colors of the gym, and now we have this bright orange color. Like
Yeah.
it's, you know, it's their feedback that makes all the difference to
It's
knowing
also-
what works.
No other gym I feel like has like that bright orange color. Like, you know, I feel like I've seen, you know, you see red and white or you see red and yellow because Retro Fitness is that. Obviously, Planet Fitness is colors, Vents colors, Gold's, you know.
Everybody's got their marketing colors. I've seen a lot more orange now. Like maybe I didn't notice it at first, but
Yeah.
I see a lot of oranges. Now it's annoying me because I see all these other gyms doing orange.
The only one I
That's
could
my-
think of is
or-
Orange Theory.
You're like, yeah, they don't count. You're like, orange is my color.
Yeah, no. How can I trademark orange? Like that's damn it, that's my color now. So, but that's also the easiest thing to fix. You know, 10 years down the road, I want to change it up. Like we can leave the same machines but paint them different colors. You
Right.
can paint the wall. That's an easy marketing fix.
Do you think, as years go on, these bigger corporate gyms, do they always exist, or will they fade out?
Oh, it's always I mean, in any industry, like corporations are they're driving the small businesses out. It's hard to compete. Thankfully, we do well. We've created a great niche, a great community. But it's tough. I mean, every day I call it the war wall. I have literally a wall in my office which has there's 13 gyms in a 20-mile radius of my club, and I watch what they do. I make sure that, you know, Planet Fitness, they do great for the new people. Orange Theory Fitness has a great group fitness program. Like you have to make sure you look at your competitors and match them at their best so your clients are happy, and then you got to crush them at their worst. Like who's doing bodybuilding, who's doing powerlifting, like Vent, Best, Planet, like nobody's doing that stuff, which is why I'm doubling down on that avenue, and then I'm also maintaining my group fitness and my cardio and my traditional machine, so that way people have more options. So to me, competition's war. Like they're trying to take money off, you know, money out of our table. Money off.
Business is my competitive outlet now.
Yeah.
I was baseball, and then I was powerlifting, and then I had nothing for a while, and now this is it. This is where I let myself feel the competition and put myself under pressure, and and challenge myself.
I love it. I mean, I also, there's a place for every gym. Like, people dog Planet Fitness so much.
Yes.
I think it's a great business model.
Yeah.
I mean, they have it and it gets people into the gym,
Right.
which then they graduate and go to my gym. So, like, I want more Planet Fitnesses. I want people to feel comfortable and get that low price model. And then when they get better, they get more comfortable, then they'll head to a big gym like mine. So I'm all for it, but you got to make sure you stay up on your game. Make sure you clean your nice facility, nice equipment, you know, good hours, things along those lines, and really take care of the people.
You're not. What do you call it? The war wall?
War wall. Yeah.
Fuck, Paul. Imagine if I had a war wall, it would turn
Oh
into
my God.
an anxiety wall real quick.
I'd have to go in there and like peel them off the floor or
Jordy,
something.
I've been in the office looking at the war wall. Paul'd have to come in and just like rub my back for a little bit.
I see
No,
it.
man, it keeps you on your toes. Like, you can't take a day off. You can't put your feet up on that desk because
Yeah.
you know all those people aren't doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to keep going. And I have a membership to most all those gyms. So I'll go there a couple times a year just to see like what their layout looks like, what their amenities are, and just to make sure that
Yeah.
I'm at my very least matching them.
Right.
And then trying to crush them on every aspect that I can.
Are
Yeah.
you looking at people's social medias?
Here and there, like social media,
'Cause-
like
That can be so consuming.
very consuming, but you can hide a lot. Like, you can take a photo of a right angle, like, and make things look bigger or brighter. You can change filters. You can make it look cleaner than it really is. You know, or you could also just lie on your social media.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I really need to go in person to see like how clean that bathroom. You see somebody taking a selfie, I'm like, wow, those lockers look awesome. You actually go there and find half of them are broken.
Yeah.
Right.
So I like to see. In
They
person.
take a picture of the one locker that works.
Yeah. Stupid things, you know. We've all been guilty of it.
Yeah.
You know, I make sure I got the best lighting. I make sure it's got the cleanest section of the floor. Like, it's part of it, but
Yeah, because to me, social media is almost like it's an easy way for people to kind of screen you before they come into your gym. It's like I want them to know what we're about, what they're getting, what the feel of the gym is, to make that when they step their foot in the door, that conversion to them joining is the chance is going to be that much higher.
oh,
Right.
absolutely.
Whether because they're the right person that's coming in, or because there's less questions to be asked. They
Social
have
media is a must. I personally am not a fan of social media. I don't
think
Go-
any of us in here are.
no,
Yeah.
go explain though, because I'm not either. But it is
It's,
a
like
giant.
it's a necessary evil.
necessary evil.
It's a giant part of our business, but yeah, I am not.
So if you look at all the equipment inside ABC, it all has stickers on it that say Albany Barbell Club. So that way, anytime somebody records themselves or takes a photo, you know where they are, even if they don't geotag you. Also, like the colors, like everybody sees bright orange, they automatically know it's at ABC. When you see this new ABC iron, like I blacked out all the walls, I blacked out the ceiling, I got special LED lighting. It is so stupid that I took the time to do this and spend the money, but now you're going to look better. So when you take those stupid selfies, you look better. Then people are going to know where they're going. It's
Yeah.
you know, it's a necessary evil. But personally, you know, I don't like that people go so hard for social media or you spend so much time. I don't have time to make it to the gym. Well, you have a freaking hour of screen time on your phone. Like
An hour, probably 4 hours
Yeah.
of screen time.
If you got that much time on your phone, you got that much time to go to the gym. So,
Yeah.
you know, business, it is necessary. Personal,
Am I being an old man? I'm stoked if TikTok gets banned.
it'll never happen.
I
but
know,
yes,
I know. I see the bill just like, oh, there's a chance now. It's like probably not. But
Same thing. It is important for business. Like, we make stupid videos that have nothing to do with health and wellness, but it gets likes, which gets people to go to your page, which then gets people like scrolling your page. Like,
Is that where you started the taste test videos?
yeah, stupid stuff. Like, I watched those Barstool videos. The guy takes the one bite in the pizza, and then we're like, oh, let's take a one sip. Like,
Yeah.
again, we should be promoting health and wellness. We should be doing something that, like, hey, do this exercise that makes you healthier, which I do. But also, if you look at the views, there's a video of a girl walking around with a trash can and it says Stanley on the side, making fun of Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
That got almost 30,000 views. But the one of the guy actually doing the leg curl and showing how to do proper exercise, that got 4,000.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
that sucks. You know, it's not the point, but again, business.
That was one of the things when I was in New York City and I was trying to use the social media platform to market myself and things like that, was I'd put all this time and effort into those informational posts and they wouldn't get anything. And then I'd make some stupid post and it would like catch it. I'm like, this is not fun for me and not how I want to be spending my time when I could be doing something else. So like that's when I just was like, I'm not going to use social media as much as I was trying to.
yeah, I think I feel better
And I didn't
about.
have to at that time either.
I feel better about posting because I know a post. The goal is just to get somebody interested in this gym and to learn about us. Versus like, I'm trying to make money on this post. I'm trying to grow my page to be whatever.
Right.
That was the stressful part for me, was as a trainer that's working through New York Sports Club, but I'm basically working for myself. Like that's what I was trying to do, was build my page so I can promote myself and get clients outside of the gym and eventually leave New York Sports Club. So that was the stressful part. Now it's like, okay, if I'm going to post something, it's going to be probably business related.
But you got to think, though,
something like that.
When I started 13 years ago, like we had to spend $5,000 on those home mailers to reach 10,000 people, right?
Right.
You had to buy a billboard. You had to buy a side of a bus. You had to do radio ads. Like that is tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Now for $100, you can reach 10,000 people on Facebook. And I know you have that Facebook in your hand. Like where those home mailers, I go out to the mailbox and I literally just turn around and throw it right in the garbage can. I don't even look at it.
100%.
I'm annoyed I had to go to my mailbox for starters. Now I just throw this ad right in the garbage. Like, so it's, social media sucks, but it's such a business tool and it's such a cheap marketing tool for us. You can't turn away from it.
Yeah, that's true. It's just the addictive nature. We got a daughter now. She's only 1, but it just scares me because I'm like, God, what's it gonna be in 10 years, in 20 years while she's growing up?
Well, I mean, when I started 13 years ago, Instagram wasn't even a thing.
Right.
And the only reason I got Instagram was because one of my front desk staff made me do it. Like she literally made the whole account and said, you have to do this. And I was so against it. And honestly, now it's our biggest form of marketing.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. But, I mean, now we have the battle. So in the gym, everybody's going nuts over like, do you have tripods? Do you ban tripods? Like, do you like ban like taking photos? Like all these things. And I'm like stuck in the middle. Like I want to go out and I want to smash every tripod.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, like they made it to the gym. So like even if their intentions are just to go to the gym, just to take a photo, you know what though? They still went to the gym. Like stop being such a grumpy old man and start being like, all right, man, they're in the gym. They're trying to do extra weight because they want to look cooler on social media. If they didn't have that tripod, would they not push themselves? I mean, it's stupid to think, but whatever.
That's a good way to look at it because, people do think that way. But you're right. If it gets them in the gym and exercising, if it's a little bit extra motivation for them to work just a little bit harder,
then walk around that stupid tripod. Like, I mean, like, I'm the biggest grumpy old man there is.
Yeah.
Like in the new gym I'm building, like there's no clocks, there's no TVs.
Yeah,
like
cool.
I would get rid of the Wi-Fi if I could. Like you're there to train, but I know the necessary evils. Like,
like we're no mirrors in here because we have a big high school population.
Dude, first time I saw a kid take his shirt off or something in that mirror, I'd throw them through it.
It's brutal, man. It's the same thing. We got kids taking off their shirt. Like when I started working out, I would never in a million years think of taking my shirt off in the gym. And now you guys that's a thing.
Yeah, I'd be so self-conscious to take. I'd be like, no way, man.
I mean, a big part of my business is babysitting people. Like it's making sure people are playing nice, teaching proper gym etiquette. It's a lot of work.
But do you feel like having the 3 sections is helpful for that because people can kind of put themselves with more like-minded people, similar style of working out people?
Yeah. You talk about business competition, right? Like studying your competition, making sure you beat them. Most gyms cater to just one type of client. Like in small boutique gyms or if it's an Orange Theory Fitness, like they have a great niche, which is awesome. At my club, I want to take care of everyone. So like Verla, she's 99 years old, takes her senior class. And then we have Evan Mensing, the second strongest male in the world, squatting over 800 pounds, like in the gym at the same time under the same roof. Like I love the fact that I can cater and I want to continue to cater to every single person. So having the different like sections of the gym, it makes a big difference. So you could be around like the like-minded workouts that you want to do. Right. Everybody's there for the same reason, but like everybody's they want to be bigger or stronger. They want to lose weight. Like we have the sections to make that happen.
Well, and I like, because you were before you mentioned how like, Planet Fitness is a good model, get somebody in the door where they don't feel like pressure or things like that. How you have like the separate room for like females. Yep. And for them to be able to train without, obviously the shit that happens in a gym where guys are just staring at them or making them feel uncomfortable, or they just feel uncomfortable because they think that's happening.
You have a section that's just women only?
Yeah.
Yep. And I think that was something I saw and I was like, that's really cool. Like, because there's a lot of women that may be intimidated to go to a gym like ABC because they see all of the powerlifters and everything like that.
Big monsters that are in there, which actually are the nicest
people.
Literally the nicest people I ever meet. But they're massive, you know, and they have that old stereotype and you got to work around it. So, and I think somebody like my mom, again, my mom works for me and I want her to be comfortable in her own facility. I also want her to, like, a reason for her to work out. She's not going to go out in that giant room to, you know, around all the weights. So, you know, I want to make a smaller private room so they have a place to feel more comfortable. And also, like, one of the coolest things is watching girls start there and then go out to the big room.
That's what I was going to say.
Like, that's my favorite thing.
It's an awesome entry point. Yeah. Was that based on feedback?
Partially feedback, just knowing what the members want. You know, like, again, observing what people want and seeing my mom, you know, what she does. Like, I love the big weight room. It's loud. It's obnoxious. The weights are clinking. Like, there's so much energy. She doesn't want that energy. Right. She wants to put her headphones on and just do her little thing.
She wants to be a little cool, calm, and collected. Yeah. Like, let me put my headphones in, get my work done.
Which is why we have that room off to the side. So,
and that's a great model. I think that, you know, to have, and it brings in people to try the gym again.
Yep.
You know, whether it's to try again or get their foot in the door the first time.
To do what you're doing successfully with all the different populations is so hard. People may be listening, and if they don't work in this industry, it's like it is so hard to do that right and to make it work. It's incredible because we'll have groups in here where we'll blend together kids and adults, and we've done a great job of creating like a comfortable and a good environment. But it's tough. It takes a lot of just like being conscious and aware of how people feel.
And I don't necessarily do it right, but I learn as I go. I mean, that's a big thing of it. Like the coolest thing I learned loving my job is the people that go to the gym. There is no other business in the world that I can think of where literally everybody from every walk of life, no matter what your religion, national background, what your beliefs are, what your gender, like any of that stuff, everybody goes to the gym to like better themselves, no matter health, whether it's your mental or your physical, like everybody goes to the gym. It's the biggest melting pot you'll ever find.
Yeah. And listen, the world's so fucking polarized. It's like to have a place where you can see people of different backgrounds, different views, different ages, and they're just all bettering themselves.
Yeah, all
getting
working
along
next to each other
in
like,
this one place.
We got the cops and criminals like outside the gym, like they're literally shooting at each other, but inside the gym they all get along. Like it's like the greatest, and kind of every religion is there. It's just every nationality, and it's awesome. I mean, it's also a lot of babysitting. Like nothing makes me more upset than I hear people talking about politics in the gym. Like keep that shit out of here. Like it is not like that'll start a firestorm because some person gets offended over this. So it's a lot of babysitting, but for the most part, our members pretty kick ass and all respect each other.
Yeah, it's a lot of you just being aware, being socially aware.
Just being there. I literally just pace the gym floor, listening to people, talking to people.
Yes, because so we talk about the war wall.
Yep.
It's like since we opened in 2018. So I lived in Boston for like 7 years, and there was a lot of kind of small group training gyms like this. And I would always keep looking back in the area to be like, hey, is there anything like a Cressy's, like a Mike Boyle's, like a Champion, these places I was around in Boston? And they'd be like, no, there's not. And then my wife finally pushed me to pull the trigger in 2018. And since then, especially since COVID, there's probably been a handful of places similar to this to open up within like a 10, 15 mile radius. And then you kind of can get a feel and see, and I'm looking at them on the war wall much more if it's a younger kid who's just hustling. First, if it's somebody with just a big bank account who like this is their like passion project. I love working out. I have millions of dollars. I'm just going to build a gym because it's cool, or build a facility because it's cool. Yeah, like I'm not concerned with them on my war wall, but that young kid who's there every day, who's hustling, who's just like, okay, this guy's gonna be something.
This guy's a grinder, and
but I also love it too. Like there's a great gym out in Guildland. That's Legacy Fitness. Like same thing. Like young kid that's really trying to make it happen. I'll speak to him on the phone all the time. Like again, there's 500,000 people in the Capital District. Right?
Yes.
If there's a couple of gyms like mine, like there's enough people to go around.
Exactly.
I'm still gonna make sure I'm gonna kick your ass and make sure mine's better.
Yes.
But like Legacy Fitness or is the Matthias, like he's got a gym too. Like like it's. These younger guys are coming up. They're hungry. They're eager to do it, and I love it. Like I want to see again. They're not some big corporate business that's just got all this expendable money to. They're either washing money from their car dealership in another gym, or they're trying to do something. Like these kids really love it, and I will support them whatever they got to do. And they're gonna be in a competition someday. Like they're gonna be. But we're going head to head. Yeah. I want it.
I think that's a mature thing. You end up in that place. Like when I was in my early 20s getting into this field, I would never say a thing like that. No. I'd be like, I want to bury this person, F them. No. But then you're like, dude, I was there one day. Everybody can eat. Like I feel better helping that person than feeling this like unnecessary like anger or whatever in my head.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like it's literally making the community a healthier, better place.
Yeah.
So which is all going to all benefit us in the long run. So I'm all for it.
And I mean, all of us have said this, like we like to see the results of helping people and see them better themselves because we were able to provide that help. Well, the same thing can be applied when it comes to like other people that are in the industry. You can still help them. You still want to be better than them.
Oh, for sure.
But you can still help them make it along the way. Like there's enough food on the table to feed all the mouths. Like just share the wealth a little bit. Like help them get their foot in the door. Like you said, there's 500,000 people in the capital region. Like 500,000 people aren't going to fit in ABC Fitness.
I'm gonna try.
We're gonna try, but right now
it ain't gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. So like, there's got to be somewhere else for them to get their outlet. And like you said, you want people to get to the gym.
Yeah.
Like just get in the door.
I also like it too. Like it keeps me honest. Like it keeps me I can't take a day off from work because I know those guys at Legacy Fitness or Matthias, like those guys are going to be coming after me.
Right.
Like I got to continue to work and I got to continue to push. And the I grind is his gym, like Matthias. Like it's these two kids, man, are trying to hustle and they're trying to do it, and I love it. And they're coming in at a great time now that social media is huge and the younger generation's really finally getting the fitness and taking it serious. So like I'm going, I got my overalls on. I'm going to work after this. I'm going right to the warehouse to keep building equipment and keep pushing because I know those kids are coming on my heels and they're going to try to take my members. And
You're not bench pressing couches, are you, though?
no, no, that's
Oh, that's those guys?
That's Matthias is he bench presses the couches and
it's
a social media thing. Yeah.
It's a social media thing, but people don't understand like how like the kid was squatting a squat rack. Like
legitimately squatting a squat rack.
All right, so a squat rack's 600 pounds. Like I can squat that, but it's just a rack. Now you put this big uneven weight thing on. Like nobody understands how hard that is. Like I understand the social media aspect of it, but from the athletic aspect, that is mind blowing to me.
Yeah. Like some of it I watch, I'm like, how did you get set up like that?
I also kind of want to see the blooper reel. Like how many times did you fail?
Like that's not take number one.
No.
Yeah, I want to see the I want to see the bloopers.
How do you get a spin bike on the top of the roof like these guys do? Like what are you doing? It's impressive. Like from an athletic standpoint, it blows my mind. Like it's cool, but
yeah, it's like they're doing that in their morning. If I posted my morning today, it's like Mike did kettlebell swings and split squats, and then he took his dog for a walk.
He cleaned up some shit, and
No, and he's hanging off the side of the roof on a spin bike. Like it's But you better get up tomorrow and you better start getting that spin bike up there because you got to keep working, man. It's I love it because it keeps me hungry, but I also like to see these other guys come up in the industry.
Yeah, definitely. This episode of Off Exit 10 is brought to you by Drink Alchemy. Fatigue and brain fog affect us all, destroying everything we pursue. Whether as an athlete, artist, creator, or entrepreneur, our mind holds the key to performing optimally. By combining the most potent organic nootropics found in nature, Drink Alchemy delivers sustainable boost to creativity, memory, energy, and focus in one epic beverage. Stop pumping your body full of excessive amounts of caffeine and unknown proprietary blends from other energy drinks, and get clean energy from Drink Alchemy's natural nootropics like lion's mane, L-theanine, and caffeine from green tea. Used by Olympians, D1 athletes, MMA fighters, and entrepreneurs, Drink Alchemy has become a huge part of my daily routine, making sure I'm functioning optimally during long days of coaching athletes, running CDSF, and getting in quality workouts myself. So do yourself a favor and ditch the energy drinks loaded with caffeine, other stimulants, and who knows what else, and head over to drinkalchemy.com today. Live with your mind unbound and save 10% off your order by using code CDSF at checkout. That's drinkalchemy.com, promo code CDSF for 10% off your order today. How, where are you at right now in the build-out process for the new space?
Waiting for flooring. We had a little bit of a hiccup. I've been doing a lot of the work myself, which is I bit off a little bit more than I can chew, trying to run that business, run a gym fabrication business, and then also build a new gym. So we're probably about a month and a half, 2 months out. But waiting for the flooring to come in. We had a little hiccup with it. We got the right flooring on the way. Then as soon as that comes in, I drop the equipment and we're rocking and rolling.
Do you build equipment for other gyms too? Or
not at the moment.
Not at the moment.
And I don't really want to.
Yeah.
Like that's part of the lure of ABC is like, members literally will tell me what they want. Like I have this really cool, it's like a split squat, like a reverse lunge machine that I made, working on getting a patent for it. But somehow that made it to Australia to this Doherty's gym. They sent me an email and want me to build one for them.
Is that the one that like the thing slides back? It's over by like the hip thrust?
Yep, yep. So I see so many people do like reverse lunges and their form is terrible or they're kicking it off the side. So I made a machine that'll keep them in the right path and activate your glutes more. And then again, somehow that made it to this other gym in Australia. They wanted me to build one, and I said no, just because I want our members to have that machine. It's the only one in the world.
Exclusive.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy.
I'm not doing this to get rich. Like I yes, sure, I like to pay my bills and have nice toys, but like it's just cool that our members have toys that no one else does.
Yeah.
And I like to do it. I just like to build. I don't want to build the same thing twice. I want to build new things, and I have a whole list in my office of all these stuff that I want to keep building.
Nice.
I got a lot of dreams, a lot of toys coming.
How scheduled are you with your days in terms of this is what I get done today and this is tomorrow?
Terrible. I'm terrible. I need to get better. Before I go to bed every night, I make a list usually from 8 a.m. to noon. I try and get like the stuff, like the must-dos off the list. And then from noon on is kind of what I consider grazing the field and taking care of putting out fires and fixing this machine that just broke or, handling this for the business. It's kind of all over the place. And having the open door policy, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Having a set and like 9 to 5 schedule is nor would I ever want it, but it's
neither would I. I think the must-dos is good. I think it's like, hey, today I got to get these
those
3-4 things done.
Yeah, I have a must-do list of payroll's got to get made, checks books got to get bounced, inventory's got to get ordered, and I try and get that done every day before noon, and then noon on is is just the chaos of, keeping the business going.
I could not function without a list.
Yeah.
No way.
And it's got to be a handwritten list. Like I do them in my phone. I just, I actually have to handwrite it down so that you cross it off and you feel accomplished.
That feels good.
It's the little goals.
I do some things handwritten, but yeah, I got like the reminders and notes in my phone now.
I do some things handwritten like that and some things in my phone. And then sometimes I'll go back and I'll look at my notes. I'll be like, I never, ever did this. And because I put it in my phone, I never went back and looked.
But I wonder if there is something in terms of like the reward that you feel when you cross off a handwritten thing. Like that response in your body is better. Like
when I erase the name off that
Yeah,
board,
let's go.
oh my God, I did like 3 of them today and it felt so good.
So we'll write people training programs, and there's no better feeling than when you finish one and you go and you grab that dry erase marker and you just cross it off the board.
My favorite is when I have like 6 programs on there and I write them. I don't erase any of them all because I'm sitting here. I'm just writing print, write, print, write, print. I get all 6 of them done and then I can just do this to all 6 names.
One full swoop.
One full swoop, and I'm like, oh, that felt so good.
I've even been bad. Like I've wrote things, like something I've already gotten done. I'll write it on the list just so I can cross it off. So at the end of the night, you look like, all right, I got some
Stuff done.
Yeah.
You
don't realize how much you get done until you actually write it down and then cross it off.
Yeah, that's a real thing too. Is like you may have like a list of like 10 things to get done from 8 to 12, and then you don't realize that you did 20 things.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, holy crap, I did way more than I even realized I did.
I'm like this weirdo about like out of order signs. Like when a machine goes, we'd have over 500 pieces of equipment at the gym, so things are destined to break and go out of order. And I have like this weird thing about like having machines not working. So like literally that's usually my afternoon is just fixing things because I don't want them down for more than a day.
They're definitely not usually.
Yeah. If something's out of order, it's because there's a part on order. Like other than that, like.
And there's usually a sign that says that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm very blatant so people understand. Like parts are coming. I promise you this will be fixed as quick as possible. Like.
Well, and it's also saving a trip of 1,000 people coming in your office. Like, why is this machine not working?
Oh my God, our sauna went down. It's one of the coils went bad, and the coil's on back order.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to print the actual out of order sign. I printed the payment for the coil. I printed the shipping, and I printed the tracking every time the tracking would happen.
Just to show people, hey,
like
I'm working
I swear
on
to God,
this.
this thing's coming. And they were like, oh my God, they're relentless over the sauna. Like, it's gonna get fixed the second it comes in. I promise you. I'm not like sitting around twiddling my thumbs or a corporation where you have to email this guy who's emailed that guy for approval and then emails to the person for a PO. Like, no, I just took the credit card out of my pocket. I paid for it immediately. It's on the way. There's certain things. I have a whole warehouse full of just every spare part for like every cardio machine, all the stuff. But sometimes you might not have something. But
Sometimes you already use that spare part.
Sorry. So that's usually what the afternoons look like, is just fixing and maintaining. It's a lot of work.
Dude, that's a lot. Because in here, it's like we're bare bones equipment. And does that keep you up at night if something's not fixed? And you're like, dude.
A little bit. Yeah. Just because I hate the fact that like you're going to walk up and just, I don't know. It's just, that's something I have to learn to be better about. Like stuff happens.
Yeah. I feel like I've gotten a little bit better over the years. But still, sometimes like if there's something that needs to be done, I'm like, I can't separate in my head if it needs to get done because it needs to get done, or if it needs to get done because it getting done is going to like get rid of my anxiety.
Yeah. That's it. Like I have 30 treadmills. Like if one goes down, it's not the end of the world, but to me it is.
Yeah.
Even though no member is probably even going to notice it or notice it when it's back up and working.
I'm definitely not going to notice if a treadmill goes down. I'll tell you that right now.
You notice the squat machine goes down.
I will notice that.
Yeah. But it's a me thing, I got to get better at just picking my battles.
Yeah. People like the sauna though.
Obsessed with it. I don't get
Dude,
it.
It's you have cold plunge or no?
Not yet. So that's also.
People are obsessed with that now. I don't. People talk about it more. I think there's a ton of benefit. I feel like though I know people where it's like they'll talk about I'm gonna go do cryo and I'm gonna do sauna and I'm gonna do cold plunge. And I'm like, dude, you sleep 4 hours a night and like don't eat that great. Like there's bigger rocks we gotta take care of.
Yeah. They don't understand. They're stepping over pennies. They're stepping over dollars to pick up pennies. Like it's.
Yeah.
You got to focus on the main things first. But something like that with business, like cryo and cold plunge is super huge right now. So that's our next, our next pivot.
Listen, I use the sauna. I like it, but I do a lot of other things to try to make sure I sleep enough, eat enough, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I think it's great.
But,
I think there's a ton of health benefits
but like,
to
there's
it, for
definitely
sure.
people I know that just like
They're just come just for the sauna.
Yeah, literally just for the sauna.
And the amount of people that have come to the gym, they'll go to the front desk and ask if it's out of order and then just leave. Like, why don't you work out instead? Like it's, or the out of order signs, like there literally is 500 pieces of equipment. Just because this one's not working doesn't mean you can't get your workout in. Like pivot and do something else. Like you can figure it out.
That's one thing I've done with my workouts is I've made it so they're structured, but there's fluidity in that structure.
Yep. And you have to, especially if you're going late at night, like you have to.
Like if I go there, like I try to go there, usually it's like either lunchtime before I come in here if I come in for my late shift, or I'll do it like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m., which still can be kind of busy sometimes, but if I were to go today at 4:30 when I get out of here, like it's gonna be a madhouse, and I would have to
throw your plane out the window.
Yeah. So like I usually go, okay, I'm gonna do let's say I'm doing squats. I'm gonna do my squats if I can, and then from there it'll be like, all right, I want to do a hip exercise. I'll look around the gym, what's open. All right, this is what I'm gonna go do, and like I can still get a good workout in.
They're kind of fun though. I like when you have to do different things.
Yeah.
Like, if normally you're doing free weight squats and now you got to go try that machine because of the new squat, you try new things or do different routines that you've never done. So
there's definitely machines I've tried in there that I never would have tried because I was like, well, I can't do this right now, so I'm gonna go. Let's go test this out. See how it's. I'm like, oh, I like
that's
this.
why I make sure there's 17 different pieces of leg equipment, like all different things, like to force you to try it out when it is too busy.
How do you know what type of music to play in the gym if you have so many different kinds of people?
It's what I want to listen to.
Great fucking answer.
There's a benefit to owning the place. Like in the main gym area, it's usually just like pop workout music, Spotify. In my weight room, it is all hardcore metal music because if I'm walking
100%.
through, that's what I want to listen to. Like, I'm not a really big fan of like country or rap or anything along those lines. Like it's metal. It's what I listen to, so that's what plays. But everybody's got if you look out in the weight room, there's 100 people. There might be 2 without headphones at this point. Everybody's got headphones on. So
you're like, I just got to enjoy what's going on right
basically,
now.
yeah. It's my house. It's my music.
I love when we'll have kids in here, and one of like the easy snowball, like just like easy questions to ask right away to sort of build some rapport. It's like, hey, what music do you listen to? And you get fucking Taylor Swift and Drake, and then you'll get a high school girl who's like, I like Korn and Metallica, and you're like, where did you come from? You're like, oh yeah.
Like there's one girl in here too, like more on the hip hop side, but I remember she always had one headphone in, but like just because she was listening to what she wanted to listen to. But we always say like, if you're gonna have headphones, you're here to get coached.
Yeah.
So like you got to make sure you can hear us. So she's always really good about it. And then one day she was here by herself, and we're like, yo, what do you want us to put on here? What are you listening to over there? She's like, NWA, and we're like,
what?
Where did you come from? That was not what I expected. And she's like, yeah, I like Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Tupac.
You're like, okay.
I'm like, okay, I can dig that. I can get behind that.
I mean, if you look at my Spotify list, it is a little bit of a whiplash. Like there is some like Zach Bryant, and then there's some Hatebreed. Like it goes, a little bit
but that's
Hatebreed,
different because that's not necessarily what you're working out to.
In the gym though, it is metal music. It's my house. It's what I want to listen to. So that's how it works out there.
Yeah, here's tough because you get such a blend of people. So like we'll look at an hour in a group and be like, what are we gonna do right now?
Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, pop music. That's what we're gonna go with because
always
that's
a
easy.
safe. Yeah, people ask all the time to change it, and that just
that drives me crazy. They'll come over, they'll ask, "Can you put this on?" I'm like, "I gotta be nice to you. I gotta listen to you." I'm like, "Not a fucking chance. I'm putting this on."
I go. Well, I would, but we use Pandora, so I can't.
Yeah, it's locked. I don't know I forgot the password. There's also 20 other people in here that also want to listen. Everybody wants something completely different.
Yeah.
So, I actually dreamed in the new ABC Iron. We haven't figured out how to make it work yet, but we have the wall mount unit for the radio, and I want to figure out how who's ever the strongest at the time gets to pick the radio. Like I don't know if that's gonna be a good or bad thing, but like who's ever the strongest person in the gym at that moment gets to pick the music.
I mean, I like that.
What are we gonna use as the markers?
Overall total, like that's
total.
the big
Your squat, bench, deadlift total.
So what's his name? That's the second strongest.
Oh, Evan, he'll play his music.
It'll be his music 90% of that.
Yeah. Evan Mensing, one of the most humble humans you'd ever walk, and you'd never know. I mean, he's a massive human, but he's
I've
just
definitely
such a
seen
kind.
him there.
He competes in powerlifting.
He does, yeah. Yep. I think he had like a 22 or 2,300 pound total. Like
what weight class?
275.
Dude, yeah, big boys.
It's a big boy.
Yep. And one of the nicest, most humble guys you'll ever meet.
They are. When I went to Springfield College, and when I was there, I met a lot of great friends. But from an education standpoint, there was one professor that made it all worth it. This guy, Pat Davidson, who's now in New York City training people. He goes around and like lectures on strength and conditioning. But he was into strongman, and I didn't do it, but he created this group of guys who all competed in strongman. And there's these 2 kids, the Hadge brothers, Nick and Zach. You can look them up, Paul. And then this guy, Rob Kearney, who he's big now in strongman. But these 3 guys were monsters. I just watched them come up from freshman in college all the way through. I think Rob's still competing.
You said Zach and Nick?
Zach and Nick Hadge, and then Rob Kearney. Yeah, Kearney's big. He was on like Rogan a couple years ago. I think he has ownership in strongman now. It's kind of crazy, but they were just the nicest group of monsters. Yeah. But the nicest group of dudes.
That's a big boy right there.
You think about a dog. It's always the big dogs
right
that are real nice. It's the little chihuahuas that are super obnoxious. The little guys that are always crazy. Yeah. I wish more people got into strongman. That's something I'm really trying to push for this new gym. I'm a huge fan of it. I went to Derek Poundstone training seminar and I became certified in strongman training. And like you could deadlift 600 pounds, and to like us, it looks cool and it's impressive, but to an average person, you look like a meathead.
Yeah.
But if you're picking up the back half of a car, like now you're stopping traffic, or you're
Right.
flipping a big tire. Like people can put the weight to it and understand like how heavy it is. And
Yeah.
it's such a not powerliftings are, I believe they're athletes, but like strongmen are just like a whole nother breed of athleticism.
well,
'Cause
think
you have to be
about-
strong and athletic.
Think about the medleys and all the events you got to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I really want to see that sport. I have all the equipment. A lot of it's barbaric. It's cool stuff you can make, and it's just a cool sport. Like
Yeah,
that's,
I like watching the guy. Like I'll be in there sometimes, and I'm like, I catch myself like stopping my workout because I'm watching them do it, and I'm like, this is pretty cool.
yeah, they got
Yeah.
big yokes are running down a thing. I got those giant stones that they're picking, like a 400-pound stone to put them on the pedestal. Like it's just amazing to like. You could deadlift 400 pounds again, not a big deal, but like you're picking up a stone to chest height and loading it on this box, and you do it for reps.
Yeah.
Like that's cool, man.
Yeah,
like
I should reach out to Rob and see at some point if he's just a big face. He's a super nice dude, just to get people interested in strongman around here.
Yeah.
I'm really going to push to grow that sport. That's my big goal for the coming years. I think that is a cool one that really needs to be blown up.
Yeah, it's definitely the first gym that I've been to where I saw like actual strongman stuff.
Yeah.
That was like a gym that had other stuff in it. That wasn't just a strongman gym. Like you have the Atlas stones and
And part of that's just because it's me.
Yeah.
Like that's what I.
You're like, this is what I like.
What's
I
also
want it.
nice is because I own a place, I can buy what I want or do
Right.
what I want. So like, you drive around back of the gym. There's actually a place you can pull your car onto, and you can deadlift your car. We have a car deadlift
Oh, you-
platform behind
you
the
do?
gym.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
that's awesome.
You could pull your car up to say I deadlifted my car.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Now I'm gonna do it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but powerlifting's so specific. It's like sagittal plane. It's like straightforward and backward, like one movement, and I'm done. You're just training for such specificity in your training. Where strongman, you have to be more diverse.
You do.
Like CrossFit, you have to be very diverse in what you can do and your strengths.
Yep.
Yep. Both are super awesome in their own ways, but they're just kind of two different things. Like, I like how powerlifting is very structured. You have to meet
Yeah.
certain depths, and you have the 3 judges. I do like that. But I also like with strongman, you're just chucking heavy ass
Yeah.
weight.
You're just throwing shit around.
Yeah, you're just throwing shit around. You're towing the fire truck behind you. Like
Yeah.
how? Like,
Yeah, remember being little and it always being like ESPN2, like the strongman competition?
Marius
Awesome.
Pujanowski.
Yeah, that's
The
him.
legend.
the guys were like towing a freaking airplane. Like how insane is that? Like I don't know. It just takes weightlifting and makes it just one level cooler to people in the public eye. So, no, that's
Listen, I love watching Brian Shaw. That boy. That
and
boy's
he's a
big-
kind of like talk about the nicest people. Like if you ever watch his podcast or
He's
his
so
videos,
nice.
one of the nicest people. Super well educated. Just a guy that's just down to help people. Like that's Brian Shaw's.
Yeah. He was just on a you know what it was? I was watching a clip on social media of Bradley Martin's podcast with Brian Shaw. And Bradley Martin always asks, he's had like a bunch of fighters on his podcast, but he always asks like in a street fight, who's going to win? Me or you? And him and Brian Shaw had done a little like wrestling thing in his gym. So then Bradley's like, well, I could probably take you out at the knee. I'd give you some space first, I'd try to tire you out. And he's like, you know what? I'm bringing a weapon.
The guy's almost 7 feet tall,
Dude, he's
400
like
pounds. Like
6'8", like 440 pounds
And-
of like mass.
yeah, mass. Like there's not an ounce of fat on a dude. Like that dude's just a built machine.
Yeah.
And it's just
And he's athletic.
Yep.
That's the difference. Is like he's not just like a stiff, like he moves well.
He's doing that jujitsu now. And
Is
it's
he?
actually pretty impressive to see a big guy has flexible and
Oh,
bending
dude.
and but how do you fight somebody like that? Like they're just
I don't.
such a giant, massive human. Like
I run the other way.
smart.
I get in your big truck and I go, yeah, come at me now.
He'd probably move it out of the way.
He probably would.
Yeah, he'd roll it over.
Dude, with jiu-jitsu now, I wouldn't want to fight anybody because you don't know who knows jiu-jitsu.
Oh, yeah.
If they know it, they get you down. I'd be like, oh, fuck.
You got one chance. Punch him and knock him out. Other than that, if you go down, you're in trouble, man.
You're gone.
You could be 5'4" and 110 pounds, but if you know some crazy shit, I'm not messing with you.
That's just it. I used to think the bigger was better. You just be a massive human and you could like outweigh them, outmove them. You can't.
Yeah.
I mean, some little kid gets a finger lock on you, drop you to your knees. Like, what? It's embarrassing.
What just happened?
Yeah.
I outweigh you by 100 pounds.
Also, should keep you humble though. Before you run off the mouth, you don't know who that other guy is.
Exactly.
Be prepared to get your butt kicked, no matter what they look like.
Right. Did you have a sports background at all growing up?
I loved hockey. Big hockey junkie. But my
I heard you
family-
mention goals earlier in your only sports reference so far, and I was like, it's got to be hockey. He's definitely not a soccer guy.
No, definitely that's way too slow and boring. If a kid and a grown adult can play it at the same time, that's not really a competitive sport.
Pickleball's not for you then.
Pickleball, no. Like if my grandma can play it and a 5-year-old kid, like that's not a sport. Go play tennis.
No,
Like,
sorry, there will be no pickleball at ABC.
no pickleball. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I did look into it to see if I could space, but just business purpose, not because I'm for it.
Listen,
but
pickleball is kind of fun, but I mean, I'm not going to do it like
You're
go.
playing wiffle ball. Like, that's
Yeah.
what we did when we were a child
Yeah,
because we
exactly.
couldn't run.
Exactly.
Did you grow up around here?
Boston Spa.
Baseball.
But I was a big hockey fan growing up. Like, just my family didn't really have any money, so like hockey's such a expensive and time committing sport.
Any sport now is expensive and
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
committing.
Yeah, it's tough. So
It's a whole different scene,
Were
dude.
you, were you a
see-
River Rats guy?
hell yeah.
Oh,
Hell yeah. I was on the
fucking-
booster club.
Oh,
I used to
let's
sell
go.
the 50-50 tickets. Used to go to the Devils game. I'm still a huge, I still go to Devils games all the time.
Hell
and,
yeah.
I'm lobbying to get the River Rats back at the MVP Center if we can.
Oh, please.
That would be
trying hard, so
awesome.
they're set up with an ownership group, so
Oh, so it's
trying
in
to-
the works, kind of?
nah, I don't really think it's gotten steep. It's such a big arena. The MVP arena is so big, and there's just not enough fans to
Yeah.
really make it worthwhile. But
I feel like
never know.
there used to be a lot of people at games, or were we just little so we didn't know?
no, looking through the stats, there was 10 to 13,000 people at every River Rats game when we were kids, and then it just dwindled as years go on, and then obviously like it came into Albany Devils, and it just got lower and lower. Now you're lucky if you get 2,000 and 3,000 people to a sporting game.
Well, when you relocate, then you and then come back and then rename the team, and like
Just doesn't have the same
It doesn't
emphasis,
have
yeah.
the same thing. Like the River Rats were such a
Dude.
nostalgic thing, and
Jordan-
then you have the River Rats themed
Shirts.
Shirts.
Yeah. And
I remember seeing
that's
that.
part of my position. Like I want to get, and that was cool. Like, we kind of remade the logo to a gym logo, but like now we have people talking about the River Rats. All these young kids that had no idea what it was. Like I get to be at my front desk and tell them about all the times, as a kid, and I got to see Martin Brodeur, like this world famous goalie, like at the River Rats, one of the training camps. Like it was the coolest, the coolest thing. And we still go to Adirondack Thunder, that place in Glens Falls. Dude, it is the craziest fans. It is probably the most. I go to big arenas and sporting events. Dude, Glens Falls and the insurance arena up there, the energy is insane. You pack 5,000 people into a ECHL hockey game. It's nuts. Like,
Dude.
how do we get that down in Albany?
Yeah, Jay, how much fun were those games as a kid?
Yeah, I love them.
They were great. I mean, I think there would be times they'd drop the puck to start the game, and they would just drop gloves and fight.
Brawls, yeah.
Like immediately.
immediately.
Yep. That was old school hockey. I mean, now it's obviously you're against the fighting and all that kind of portion of it. It's not nearly as much as it used to be, but nothing better than old time hockey.
Wasn't there a guy though recently that like did that though? Like started the game immediately, just started fighting, and I think he did it like a couple games in a row.
Matt Rempe for the New York Rangers. So
Yeah.
he got pulled up into the pros. 13 seconds into his very first shift, he got in a fight on center ice.
and then didn't he get in a fight the next game too?
I think 3 out of 5 games he got into a fight.
Yeah. And I was like, this guy knows. This
And
guy
he's
knows
going
what's up.
against this guy Reeves, who's like a known brawler, like the guy in the NHL. He lost the fight, but like, dude, to have the nuts you have to stand against that guy at center ice and go knuckle to knuckle, it's
13 seconds into your first game.
yeah.
Dude,
He's a
I love
21-year-old
it.
kid. Like his interview, he's like, I love it. Like I just want to get better at it. Like yeah, man, somebody sign this kid.
They
Yeah,
call him up. He goes, I know what I'm doing.
I'm not a Rangers fan, but like if I was, I'd be buying that jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Who's your team?
The Devils. Like,
Devils, yeah.
I hate New Jersey itself, but like I love the Devils because growing up we watched the River Rats. You know?
That's exactly why I was a Devils fan.
Yeah,
But
it was the
same
farm
thing.
team for the Devils. So like you'd watch them play here on Friday, and then Saturday they're playing on national television for the Devils. It was the coolest thing growing up. So I'm a Devils fan, but just because of the old River Rats.
Did you watch that Trashers documentary?
Hell yeah,
Dude, that was great.
that old time hockey, man.
Yep.
It's made it more of a UFC, WWE spectacle than an actual hockey game. But
Were they a minor league team, or it was just a different hockey league?
it was a minor league game.
It was.
Yep, minor league.
Dude,
The
that-
Danbury Trashers.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was just about like mob owned, and they just paid people, and they would just fight.
To some extent, yeah. It was a guy that owned a garbage company and was basically funneling the money into the hockey program and gave it to his son to run, who knew nothing about hockey and made, kind of a WWE a spectacle of it all.
Hey, got people in the seats.
They did, yeah. Sold out. I mean, I think they made it to the play, like pretty far into the playoffs too, surprisingly.
So
But they also had big money to buy the big players.
Well, didn't the NHL go on strike like at that same time? So they paid guys who weren't.
Exactly. Yeah, they had a pro. Don't quote me on it, but I want to say one of the old Devils players went down to that league to play. They paid him enough to come in and play and help him get to the playoffs. But yeah, they had some big names on that team.
it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a. I mean, what's the biggest sports team we have around here? The Valley Cats,
I think now it's probably the Firewolves.
the Firewolves is the lacrosse team,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Like I see that a lot of places. Like, but that's because there's not a lot of teams at the MVP arena anymore. You know.
Yeah.
It's a tough arena. It's it's a tough downtown Albany. Downtown Albany isn't what it used to be. It's
Right.
kind of a little bit of a dive at the moment. And it's just such a big arena. 16,000 people or 20,000 people you can fit in that place. So even on a lower level team, if you put a couple thousand people in, it looks like there's nobody there.
Right.
Right.
And it's so expensive. Like one thing I love about going to Glens Falls, you got $3 beers and $2 hot dogs. Like now that's and tickets are $20. Where you go to the MVP Center, it's $40 for a ticket, it's $16 for a beer. Like, who's taking their family and their kids to that?
You
Like,
think of somebody with 2, 3 kids, husband and a wife. It's just like, dude.
you're pricing them right out. Like, where's that manager to step in? I understand they got overhead and all that stuff, so
Right.
don't get me wrong, I understand that aspect of it. But if you want to get more butts in the seats, you got to make it a little bit more affordable for some people to,
Right.
Specifically like a Firewolves. Like, it's an upcoming team. They've sucked for so many years. This year they're killing it though. They're absolutely killing
They
it.
were like, because I listened to ESPN radio and I heard that they were like doing really well.
Yeah,
this year.
dead last year. This year they're tied for first place.
Yeah.
So, it's good to see them, but like, you need to get people in the seats in order for them to stay.
Right.
Like, you gotta either cut some deals for the first couple of years to get people in and get involved, or
You got to make it so
refigure out.
families can show up. Like
Yeah.
that's what it is. Like if you get families to show up now, all of a sudden you got 5 seats filled.
And I think that's why Glens Falls is so popular. Like, it's totally affordable and it's full of parents and kids. And
Right.
it's quite the event up there. And those are the most dedicated fans I've ever seen. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's where River Rats was back in the day. Yeah,
Yeah.
you go with your family and you hang out and you watch some fights.
Yep. So I hope Firewolves have a 5-year contract. So hopefully they stay. We do a lot with the Firewolves. I'm really
Cool.
The players come work out at the gym. Some of the nicest guys. The coach is,
Mm-hmm.
an A+ guy. They're amazing people. So really, really happy to see them do well.
That's awesome.
And then this year we got the Firebirds coming back. They'll be back
Oh, they will.
May, I think, is when they start.
No,
April or May.
no Antonio Brown.
No, Antonio Brown.
No.
No, Antonio Brown.
Did you do stuff with the
Oh
Empire
my
or
God.
no?
I admittedly did. Yeah, had Antonio Brown at the gym. He worked out with some of our Special Olympics athletes. I really thought that this guy, his attention, his money could really save. I want to see sports do well. The more sports we have, the more it trickles down to my business, the fitness business, and what a shit show.
Me too. When did you have him at your gym? At what point during the Empire process?
Before I realized like who he was, the chaos of it.
How
all.
was he when he was at your gym?
Honestly, a really nice guy. Like, members, I didn't know much about him or his history. Like, members were literally stopping him as he's walking in, taking photos. He took a photo with everyone. He walked into my office as well. My mom's desk is right next to it. He actually sat next to my mom, shot the shit with her like it was just another person. Like, he's just a regular dude. So I know he's got a pretty bad image, and not that I'm sticking up for him, because I found out more about who he is and what he's done, and I'm not a fan of him. But like, in that moment, I was impressed. He was a super humble, super nice guy.
That was a wild thing because I saw it as an opportunity to bring a lot of good to this area too.
I thought it was really going to change it.
So we reached out to them, as probably a lot of people did, early on in the process. Like, I don't know, when he announced he was being an owner, it had to be shortly after that, before
Yeah, it
anything
was, like,
started
right
to
after.
fall or look sour. I just did a blind reach out, as I do with everything I do.
Yep.
Let me just shoot my shot and see what happens. I go on his Instagram, click on the link, email the email that's there. Hey, I'm Mike Strani. I own a gym in Clifton Park. We host a podcast. I'd love to have AB on. I think it's a great opportunity for him to talk about what Albany meant to him growing up, his plans with the Empire, how he wants to kind of make Albany special for kids growing up now, and what he wants to do with football there. Boom, send. I get a phone call in like 2 fucking minutes after I send that email. I just don't take it because I don't know the number. Somebody leaves a voicemail, and then I get an email right after from some kid. I don't know who it is. Hey, just call me back. We'll talk about AB coming on. That just seemed weird.
Yeah.
The email's like, hey, AB's interested. What's your budget, champ? Is what it says. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So I don't
You got to pay him to go onto your podcast.
Yeah.
It gets better. I don't reply to the email. I don't call back. It's like a week later, and one of our younger coaches, Matt, I'm like, Pierce, I reached out to Antonio Brown's people. Look at these responses. I go, I don't think I'm going to reply. He goes, just call him. Just see. So I call. Some knucklehead picks up. Not AB, another knucklehead. This is Mike. I emailed you at the podcast. He goes, oh, yeah. He goes, listen, Barstool just gave us $2 million. He's like, what can you do? I go, dude, I don't got $2 million.
Yeah.
I'm not Barstool.
Like, I don't have $2 million, man. He goes, 20,000. I go, wow, not doing nice negotiating. I go, dude, I don't have 20,000. Hang up. 5 minutes later, he calls back. Hey, just talk to AB. He could do 5,000, and you got to fill the gym with kids and video record it with all the kids behind him. I go, oh, shit. Well, let me call you back. I'm like, I don't want to spend 5,000. I go, but what a cool opportunity to talk to AB. So I called Jordy, who you were in New York City at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I go, hey, here's what's going down, man. I go, I don't know. You make the call. Pierce says yes. Paul says no. Paul says maybe. I don't know. Jordan, you think on it, call me back. I'll do whatever you say.
I was a maybe leaning towards no because I was like, I know who Antonio Brown is.
Yeah, I didn't know anything
Because
about him.
I'm a football fan.
So
I
then,
follow it.
Jordy, you do your research and you think about it.
Yeah, I was the same as Paul. I was a maybe leaning no, and then I did my research, and I just couldn't stomach the idea that we were gonna do like a PR rehab for him and pay him $5,000 for the privilege. It's
Yeah.
like,
Doesn't really add up.
yeah, no, and yeah, he's seems charming. I get that, but based on what I've read about him, he's not a good dude.
So yeah, we were just like, I never reached back out, and that was that. And looking back, it was the right call.
Yes.
But looking back, it's like if you were really in this for the right reasons and you understood this area, you know, this isn't a big market like New York City or LA or Miami. It's like this is a bunch of families, man, just trying to get by. Like, come do this for free and show the people that you really care.
Right.
Well, I mean, especially a local podcast, like you would think if he heard it here, then people would go to the game. So like he's getting paid one way or the other, whether he gets paid for this podcast or gets paid through ticket sales.
Right.
Like do this for free, you get more ticket sales. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I personally did not know him or his background. I'm not the biggest football guy, so I didn't know about him or anything. I just knew he's a very famous owner that's coming in with deep pockets. Like he could potentially save this, so I was pumped.
Yeah.
And he's at the gym, super nice to everyone. Everybody met. He worked out with our ABC Spartans, our Special Olympics powerlifting team.
Which is so cool.
Yeah, he brought his signed jersey for the guys. He's taking photos. He hung out with my mom. Like, you know, he just sat in the office next to my mom. Like, this is one of the most famous football guys in the world, just hanging out in my office. Like,
Yeah.
So I was very impressed, but then obviously the stories unfolded and the chaos that ensued. It was really kind of sad because I had such high hopes for this team in
we all
sports, and he ruined it.
Yeah, I think we all did because, you know, being a football fan, like I was like, oh, this would be cool. Get like some notoriety on like arena football in the area. Like I like going to the games.
And arena football's awesome. Like, and I'm not a big football fan, but like how fast, like I'd actually prefer an indoor football game because it's so fast. It's so violent. It's like there's so much going on. Like I love it. So I was really hopeful to see it do well. And now we have the Albany Firebirds are back. So they're back. They're signed. They got some good players coming on. They're also training over at ABC now. We signed up with those guys.
Hell yeah.
But I know they're going to have a long road to undo the bad reputation that was done in just a short time by that guy to hopefully get people back to fall in love with it.
How are you making all these connections? Are you just reaching out yourself to these teams and people?
Just through the years, actually I bought a Chevy pickup truck. I met the owner of Mohawk Chevy, and he's one of the owners of the Firebirds. So it kind of works out that way. It's business, man. Anybody, it's all who you know. It's not only what you know, like you can learn your way through it, but it comes down to it's who you know. So
yeah, being who you know and relationships is huge. Yeah, we talked in the beginning. I don't know if we were on air or off air, but just about leasing buildings and owning buildings, and it's like having good relationship with your landlord or people in real estate is huge. You wouldn't think about that as a young gym owner.
No.
But you're like, oh, this could be maybe one of the best relationships that I can develop.
Yeah. Or even being nice to that. Just being nice gets you so much further than being a dick. Like if you're nice to your landlord, he's going to recommend you to another landlord, or he's going to stand up for you. And like when he sells the building, he'll think of you first, and maybe you'll want to buy it. Like just being nice will get you so much further. And you might not get instant gratification, but 5-10 years down the road, that being nice to that person is going to pay off. And I've learned that tenfold, like how to pick up these sports teams and get a little marketing year from it is a little just being nice to the one person and meeting this person, and it just trickles on from there.
Just be a certified nice person. That's it.
Yeah, certified nice person. But and also being okay with not having instant gratification.
Yes.
That's a really good point too, though.
Yeah, like all the connections I have today, like it didn't mean nothing 5-10 years ago.
Right.
But, building that reputation or building that rapport with someone as they walk in, hey, how are you? Like into your gym, hey, how are you? Have a good day. And conversation just turns into more and more and more. And Paul Harding is one of our members, a local lawyer. Same thing. Used to come into the gym, say, how are you? Have a good day. And then conversations happened. And
I see. Do you do a commercial on your chopper
back in
with
September,
them?
I was in a commercial.
Hell
like,
yeah.
Again, like, he saw my motorcycle in the parking lot. They had to do a motorcycle commercial, and he remembers the guy at the gym that was nice to him. So he invited me to come do the commercial. It's like, again, I was nice to him, and now it transformed into like a lifelong friendship with one of the most powerful guys in Capital District.
That's awesome. And I mean, the gym itself, like obviously business is that way too, but the gym itself is an instant gratification. Like you might feel better after you leave the gym, but like the results the goal that you're reaching isn't going to happen that day.
It's so hard. People don't understand it. What's 21 days to build a habit? Like you got to stick with this thing in order. And the first 21 days are the hardest. They suck. Even myself, like I live at the gym and I still don't want to work out many days, but I force myself to, and I'm so happy when I'm done. You also want longevity. I want to feel better. I want to look better. Like you got to do the steps, and people don't understand it. You got to put the work in.
Have your priorities in working out for yourself changed over the years?
Very much so.
How so?
That's been tough. Like, I'll have personal trainers that come to me and like, I can't make rent this month, or I'm low on clients. But then I see them like working out at 5 p.m. on the gym floor. Like, why are you working out? You should be working with clients. You should be meeting people. You should be doing marketing. Like, if my business isn't, 100%, which will never be, and that's a problem that I have, I want to always strive for that 100%. I'll put my workouts and my health last before, actually, it was just a couple weeks ago, I put myself in the ER for exhaustion. I got myself so beyond sick and run down, I actually had to go get an IV and some medicine to make me feel better, because I'm so obsessed with getting the new gym open, making my current gym run. It's just, I didn't sleep, I didn't eat, I didn't work out. I was just so focused on growing the business. I chose the wrong priorities, and that's where you got to find that healthy balance.
Yeah, geez, dude. But it takes that type of person to be successful in a small business, man, especially when you're starting at zero or coming into something that's not profitable.
But I used to be really good. Like, when I first started the gym, like 6 o'clock, I'd stop every day and go train with my training partners, and 8 o'clock I'd clock back in and start. And now it's just, I put my training is not a priority. The business is the priority, to make sure everybody else has a good, training experience. So,
do you feel like if you didn't work in a gym, it'd be almost impossible for you to work out?
Absolutely.
Me too.
Yep. It's also hard to get, like, here you own your gym. Like, it's hard to get into the mindset of like, you got to switch your business, take your business hat off and go to war with the weights.
Yeah, because like my laptop's right there. It's 10
This
steps
is why
away.
I go to ABC.
Yeah. Or there's a spot of dust on the floor. Like, now all of a sudden you're stopping between sets to go clean up the dust, and then it goes.
They'll like do a
spots for-
squats and then do a little vacuum or a dust in between.
Yep.
Always.
Yeah.
Oh, people, like, on the gym floor, I got this little Ryobi vacuum, and literally in between sets, I'll vacuum under machines and stuff. And it's hard to get into the mindset, like, you're here. This is just as important as it is the business. Like, working on yourself physically, mentally is just as important, because if I'm sick, I'm going to miss work. If I'm not healthy or looking the certain way, my business is going to suffer.
And if you're not healthy, you won't be there to reap the benefits of the business itself.
Exactly.
So, it's twofold. You got to bust your ass to keep the business going, but you also got to make sure you make time to stay healthy at the same time.
Yeah, that's like, Jay, you know this guy. One of our accountants works out here, and it's tax season, so he's crazy busy at work.
Yep.
And he was super late one day. He was stressed. He's like, dude, my boss is getting mad that I'm coming to work out. He's like, I get there early, I get my work done. I go, just tell him, man, like, you taking care of your health is a benefit to his business. Like, you're gonna be more present, you're gonna be a better employee, you're gonna but it's tough. If I worked somewhere else, dude, I would have a hard time.
That's a tough one, because we have front desk shifts, and like, if nobody can work that shift, I have to work the front desk.
Yeah.
Like, is my time better working on the business or working in the business? So here I am working in the business. Nobody can cover the shift after I asked everyone if they could, and all of a sudden I see 3 of my employees walk in to work out. I literally just want to lose it. Like,
that's hard.
I would definitely lose it.
Yeah, me too. I would. That's a good point.
But
I
like,
would.
I want to see them healthier. I want to see them training. But like, now I can't work because I got to work the front desk. But you guys told me you couldn't work, but you can come to the gym for 2 hours. Like,
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if I had a full gym and I needed a coach on the floor and they're like fucking working out, like, what the fuck are you doing right now?
Yeah.
Do you see what's going on?
It's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. The working on versus working in is big. I get stuck sometimes. I'm just like, dude, I'm too caught up in everything right now. I gotta step away.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's hard. You got to work on the business. You got to work growing the business, doing your programming and how to, grow the business, get more people in, get more clients, but you're working in it, just trying to keep it afloat. It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, small business, dude. It's not for everybody.
No, I don't necessarily recommend it.
Fuck no. It's then even when you get some money, right? Like you put some money away, and then you go, I could take it out for myself. I could do some things with this. You go, I could do a lot of things at the business too. It's like, it's never, dude. Nothing's ever easy.
I just had a customer actually just recently come up to me like, what's taking so long with the new gym, and like just really kind of digging it to me, like all the stuff that we're doing, like. I'm spending over $800,000 to build out this new gym. I could have just withdrawn, and everything I've done in that business, we've never taken a loan. That's all just cash I've saved every single month to be able to do things. Like, we could have cashed out. Me and my partners could have just left, and I could have a nice vacation. I could have bought myself a new motorcycle. But instead of buying the new motorcycle that I'm obsessed with, I'm buying you a new squat rack so you can have a better workout. Like,
I think that's
slow your roll before you give me a hard time.
Yeah, I think if somebody has never been around small business, was your family entrepreneurs growing up?
Yeah, both my dad's side of the family owned a gas station. My mom's side of the family owned a laundromat.
That's a big piece to the recipe. It's just growing up around it. Like our dad was a state trooper growing up, but he also owned a painting company, and it wasn't like just a side thing, painting company. Like he's
in it.
He's in it, dude, and he works. He was state trooper hours, 7 to 7 or 7 to 7, and a painting company. And my mom was helping grow the painting company and taking care of us. It's like that's what we grew up around.
Mhm.
People grinding to make life work. It's kind of like it's all we know. It's all I know.
Yeah. Which is tough, though, because, like, all I do is grind. I've taken one vacation in 13 years. It's kind of ridiculous. I probably need to focus a little bit more on actually living a life.
Yes, me
But
too.
I also generally enjoy, again, I love going to
Right.
work.
If you're enjoying
Like-
it though, like that.
It is
that's not-
part of vacation.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. You should probably take a vacation
Yeah.
because you deserve it. But at the same time, like if you enjoy what you're doing and you're getting fulfillment out of it,
I also
Is it a
sleep a
problem?
third of the day away. Everybody's like, I need a vacation. You slept 8 hours yesterday, right? That's a third of your day. You don't have a right to take a vacation. Go to work. Like,
Yeah.
I want to work a 32-hour work week. There's 168 hours in a week. Like, to me, working a 40-hour work week is a part-time.
yeah,
Like, what are you going to do for the rest of your 128 hours? Like,
Yeah, I feel the same.
troll
But
social media? Like,
but not everybody is made up like that.
Right.
And I guess that's not me. I'm not made up like that. I could never not do that. I could never not work 40 plus a week just because I guess that's what gives me gratification. I love to build something. It's a part of my identity and who I am, and I love it. Like,
I mean, look at your wall over there. All the athletes that, your high school athletes that are now in college. Like,
yeah.
you had something to do with that. Like, these guys are now at a higher league, a higher level of play, but also a higher level of education.
Yeah.
Like, you had something to do with that.
But with that, I've sacrificed, and it's my doing, a lot of friendships over the years. People always going out, hanging out, and me just like being too caught up in my work and what I'm doing to
but
be there for those things.
what did they do? Like, they went out to a bar and had a bunch of drinks and I got a hangover?
Yeah, not for
Like,
me.
you made a program for a potential college athlete, which could turn into a pro athlete, like,
Yeah.
and change that kid's family.
Yeah, I think about too, and I was even like that in college in my early 20s. Like I was never a big partier. I'm way more of an introvert. I kind of, become my extroverted self when I'm in my element, like in here. But yeah, I just think it's like all of my efforts over time. The nights in college, just reading extra books. In my early 20s, grinding it out, seeing 3 extra clients a day. It's like I've just been kind of like building a
You have the
foundation.
priorities. You have the priorities to change your life, change your business, and change others' lives. Like,
Yeah.
My next adventure is going to be, so at the beginning of the month, we bill everybody for their monthly dues.
Mm-hmm.
I get a giant list of declines that comes through. It's about $6,000 every month people don't pay.
Stressful, yeah.
All insufficient funds. Comes through on a Monday, but meanwhile, Saturday, I saw them on Instagram out drinking. So, like, you're out drinking on Saturday, but you don't have $20 in your account on Monday morning to pay me from the monthly dues. Like, I'm going to start posting that on social media.
Dude.
Like, you want to have your Gucci shoes and not be out partying? Like, where's your priorities? Like,
You bill everybody all beginning of the month?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. See, ours just rolls on whatever date they initially sign up for. Then it's that same day the following month and so on and so forth. But the declines suck. Our software now, if somebody updates their card, I don't know how it does it, but it catches the update.
Yep.
But it'll get declined on fraud, which is okay. And people don't know. We see why it declines.
Yeah.
You can see the code.
Yeah.
Like, I know why it declines. And you got to reach out to them. You're like, hey, your payment didn't go through. Ugh.
It's a lot of work. But again, the priorities, like, you're out partying and drinking, but you don't have the couple bucks in your account. Like, either you should have worked more last week to put that money in your account, or you don't,
or spend less on that drink.
spend less on your drink and go to the gym. Like, I mean, it's priorities. Like, I would much rather work on your business, work to help other people than go out on the weekend and partying and spending your money, wasting your time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of, like, we talked about that lifetime client value. I think part of at least the structure of a business, a gym business for sure, is creating that reoccurring revenue every month. Like, I know I have the potential to collect this much in April, in July, in November. Like, now I got to convert more sales. I got to make sure I retain these people.
Yep. That's how you create a budget, though, so you can know how to maintain your facility and that kind of stuff.
For sure.
It's also an idea, though, how do you get more money out of those some people? So particularly for me, gyms have been such a low dollar value now per month. So Planet Fitness, it used to be when I started ABC, they're almost $100 a month for a shitty gym. Planet Fitness came in and everybody had to recheck their prices. And, Planet Fitness is 10, we're 20 and 25, up to 30, so it's not terrible. But it doesn't really cover your expenses. Now, how can you get more money out of the pockets of those people? Like doing your supplements, doing your clothing, doing your personal training. You need to get more dollar per person. And just coming up with those additional revenue streams is where you're going to make that you have your monthly dues, so you can pay your bills, but then
Right.
you have your additional revenue, so you can do renovations, expansions, buy the new equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah. People understand, like, our slogan is support your local gym.
I love that.
They don't, like, literally every money from that pro shop goes 100% back into the business. So every time you buy a support your local gym, you literally are supporting your local gym. We make $10 off that t-shirt that now buys us more weights so you can have a better workout experience. We've done it from day one. It happened, I don't know, 10 or 11 years ago we started that portion of it. And that is solely the money we've used to reinvest back into the business.
That's awesome.
The other money pays for all the bills. It's almost $150,000 a month. I could have $150,000 a month in cash in my account just to pay payroll, electricity, rent.
Dude,
all the extra cash is.
here's small business. People are listening, aren't involved in it. It's like for me to go to work and then to get money for myself, I must first cover all of this.
Yeah.
All of this before I can take anything from
Right.
my family.
I'll always make sure my employees' paychecks will clear way before mine does. I've never once bounced an employee paycheck, and I never will, but I'll make sure mine, if I'm short on cash, I'll make sure mine bounces before theirs does.
Yeah.
You got to take care of them first.
Yeah. But Matt, I appreciate you doing this, man.
Thank you for having me on.
No,
Yeah,
it's great to meet you. I've heard great things, and
Thank you.
yeah, dude, this was a blast. Anything you want to plug before we jump off?
Not really, man. I mean, I love what you guys are doing. This facility's awesome. I mean, I love you guys share the same passion I do, just trying to help others. Like, again, it's nothing. We're not going to be on some yacht or making some crazy money, but the amount of people that we can help live a better, longer life, that's it, man. It's completely rewarding.
Yeah, man.
That's why you got to be in it if you're in this field.
Yeah.
That is that's what's going to keep you going.
To help others.
So, yeah, to
Love
help
what you do every
others.
day.
100%. All right, Matt, appreciate you, and we'll catch everybody next time.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.